My gaming tag is Creative Mind 9. A lot of people call me Creator for short. I've been gaming for, I don't know, maybe like 25, 30 years. Like that sounds like a long time, but I literally have. So it's been a long time. My first system was actually my dad's Atari, the Atari 7800 to be specific. I've been gaming because it's very therapeutic for me. A lot of things I actually kind of get into esports now. Like I like watching gaming. I like to say like I'm a semi-retired gamer that just watches the games now, like the old people do with NBA and NFL. Um, but I really like gaming because it's therapeutic. It kind of gives me another outlet. It's been my moment to like relax. There's different things I could do, like watch other people game, watch people stream, play the game myself. And it doesn't just limit to regular video games. Like I play Sudoku a lot, is one of my main games to kind of relax me and stuff like that. So I play brain games, first person shooter, logistical things to kind of keep my brain going and keep me active.
Thank you. Thank you. Who's next?
I guess so.
Oh, we are not going to treat this like school. Go ahead, Ray.
I think we're all just so polite and we want to allow the other queen to go. So I love that. We're all very mindful of each other's space. So yes, hello. Thank you so much for having me on this. My name is Rabbit. My tag is pretty much Rabbit Plays Games, not a whole lot of creativity to it. But the initials are RPG because I, as Sharice has already kind of mentioned to some of you, I have been playing games for a really long time, and I very much enjoy more of the narrative driven video games. Kind of like Kizzy, I've been gaming for probably 27, 28 years. My father was a really big gamer as well. And so I have some really fond memories of even playing, he had an Atari 5200 system. So I've been in the realm for a very, very long time. And actually, I credit gaming as a way of catapulting me into my career. I actually work as a counselor and am working on finishing up my practicum to be a licensed clinical addiction specialist. So I've been working in mental and behavioral health for years and years and years. And I think video gaming is truly such a wonderful therapeutic option for self-processing, co-processing with others if you do have a group that you game with. So yeah, I've been in this realm for a really long time, and I absolutely love video games, particularly the retro games. My heart is still more so in than a lot of the modern games, but I do keep up with some modern stuff that's released.
Rabbit, thank you. Yes, Nintendo over here all day. Super Mario Brothers. Let's go. All day. Duck Hunt. Right. Thank you so much. Who's next? We have 3 more. Who is next?
I can go next. Pop know me as mostly as T. They call me T. My gaming name is Cozy Reality. I have been gaming for I'm 24 now, 20 years, 2019 years. I am started in the slightly later generation. I started with the Nintendo 64. I grew up in a household full of women and I was the youngest child. So gaming for me was like my own personal thing that I can do on my own time in my own space. So it was get up in the morning, have my sisters get me ready for school, get home. I'm the first one home, finish my homework, get to gaming. That's my alone time. That was me. That was my space. It was actually super therapeutic because the house was always chaotic, dealing with so many different personalities and a lot going on and everything. But I range from mainly single player games because I started with party games with Mario Party. I started with Mario Party 2 actually. I ranged out into GTA, of course. I played Guitar Hero. I do first person shooters every now and then. But for the most part, I do like single player games the most. They give me what I need and what I want in terms of, I like combat a lot. I'm just a very aggressive person when it comes to video games, but I enjoy it a lot. In terms of different spaces, I came on Twitch blind, not knowing anything, not knowing how things worked. A couple months later, I ended up meeting Siri. Siri has introduced me to BGGC. I ended up meeting Ev. I meted a very wide group of people of color just from meeting one person. And I enjoy that a lot. I think that's a really good thing, and I think we need more of that.
Thank you so much. I have to agree. I think one ricocheted, and I'm always going to go to Kizzy. I think it started with her, our contact with her, and it ricocheted to like all of you. How, I don't know. It's like, oh, I know this person are doing hard research. So it's important to create this space. Thank you so much for sharing. You're very aggressive in gaming. It's okay. You got to let it out. So I shoot guns, so it's all right. So I get it. Two more. I think one wants to kind of round us off, so I kind of can guess who's going to go next.
So I'm Pop. My full gamer tag is Pop No Tarts. No, this doesn't mean that I don't like Pop Tarts. It's actually in reference to tarts, the pastry, because I actually like them as a pastry. You can make different kinds. But everybody thinks my name is related to Pop Tarts, but tarts. If you've never had tarts, I highly recommend trying tarts. I've been gaming for 24 years. My earliest memory is playing on my parents had an Atari and I was playing Aladdin. I was playing the Aladdin platformer game. And then after that, it ended up being a bunch of different. We had both Sega and Nintendo consoles, but as you can tell, I'm more of a Sega head, with Sonic the Hedgehog and the Yakuza series being my favorite franchises of all time. I gamed a lot. I come from a family of gamers. My brother plays games. He's playing a game right now. My mom's on the phone, but when she gets off, she's gonna be on Animal Crossing. My dad hasn't played as much because he was always working a lot. But when I was younger, it was fighting games and other shooters and stuff with my dad. My mom, we play more like platformers, RPGs, simulators. She got me into The Sims. I remember I was 6. We had just got a PC. It was Christmas. She got The Sims, and I just remember I was like, "What is this dress-up game?" Like I was so curious and fascinated by it. But I got into The Sims because of my mom. I prefer platformers and RPGs. Those are like my main two genres that I'm always playing. I do play other genres. T can tell you that everyone likes to call me pro pop for whatever reason. I just play the game. T is scared of me in Guilty Gear Strive. We've played against each other quite a bit, and she gets tired of my Geo and just found out that I'm playing Axel 2 and doesn't want to deal with me. As for other spaces, I'm a doctoral candidate in musicology. I do research on anime and video game soundtracks, so I kind of tied two things that I liked into another thing that I like, and I've been doing all of my life. I've been playing the piano for 26 years. I started learning how to play when I was 4. I was on Twitch for a while. I was always watching, and then I started streaming on Twitch. Once I started streaming on Twitch, I met one person that turned into another person. Then I turned into a team. I met M through a mutual friend in BGGC, and after that, I think like half of the people that I've met in the last half of the year, I met through M. I met other people through T after meeting T. It's been a wonderful space. Networking works, especially with the right people.
Thank you. And last but never least, with our group, yes, ma'am.
Oh, wait.
Wait, you muted.
I'm muted now. Okay, lovely. Professional, whole professional. Yeah. So for those who literally have absolutely no idea of who or what I am known as the infamous test subject. Most people know me as Infamous X1X. And a few of these people on the panel that know me closely call me Infy. And if you call me, I'm famous. I got a big mouth, good aim, and a bat that sits over there. I have been gaming. I am not going to say all of those years because that would tell my age. But just know, I started off on a power pad and duck hunt and playing Pac-Man in a shop that my mama worked at. So I've been gaming for a lot of years. My mom is who introduced me to gaming. I grew up in a house full of Amazon women. So that was me and my mom's thing. I brought my sisters into gaming, so they now game as well. And my daughter and nieces are also into gaming. I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to gaming. I am known for taking folks' names and taking folks' heads off in fighting games and shooters. But I do have a love for a really good RPG or action-based game. I love a good story. Um, I am probably the 7 stages of Kevin Bacon of Twitch. Um, somebody knows somebody that knows me. As much as I don't want to admit that, that has become a thing, and this is proof now. Like, watch, Rabbit is gonna see she's gonna run into somebody that knows me, and it's just gonna happen now. Um, so yeah, I am known for a lot of the hats that go on my head. I am a cosplayer, I am a model, I am a mother, I am a mental health ambassador. Um, Huge platform for that for me. I am also very, very big on wanting diversity in gaming spaces, especially in the spaces that I have been a part of. I am very, very huge on women uplifting women. Um, and I am a bigger size woman. So I want us to love all of us healthily, happily, and strut it however you feel in our own individuality. So that is the entity that is me.
And that's why I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you, seriously. Like I said, and I know someone, I know you all from somebody here, which ricocheted. And like I said before we went live, I honor all of you for the space you occupy, just being here and showing up as you are, right? And that's the purpose of this conversation today. So thank you again for spending, about an hour or so. If they're telling me we're going to tip over than an hour, and we are. Just a conversation. So while some may be gaming on the side, I am going to ask questions just to preface this conversation today. And we are going to go topic by topic. So I'm going to call out the topic. I'm going to read a question, then I'm going to call on one individual to answer first. And it will be open to anyone that may want to answer in this space. We do have Pop No Tarts. And thank you for clearing up your name, because I thought you did not like Pop Tarts. I'm like, what? Get your whole life. Your strawberry all day with the frosting. Thank you. Even though it's not healthy. So I'm glad you cleared that up. That is not Pop Tarts. But we do have we have our controlling this space in our chat should there be any questions as well. So let's just jump in and get started. So here's our first topic. It's representing self, representing community, and just show up, right? I'm actually going to pose this question first to the person who kind of just made me laugh offline. And this is going to be you, Miss Kizzy, Miss Creative. So I'm going to ask you to answer this question first. And again, if anybody wants to, because I love you, wants to go in and answer behind her, please do. So here's the question with this topic. What does it mean to represent self? And then what does it mean to represent community? I'll say it one more time. What does it mean to represent self? And what does it mean to represent community?
Okay, for me, when it comes to representing yourself, first of all, I would say it's been tough for a lot of people in the gaming community to be themselves. But I feel like you really just have to be true to who you are in any space. You have to really dig into what you like, what you want, what you love, what you feel, and really kind of tune everybody else out to really bring your best self forward. Because in spaces and in the gaming community, it could be a lot of you see what everybody else is doing, and sometimes that could cloud what you like and what you want. Because I could see, like, people fussing about women playing first person shooters, which that's been a thing, but it's like, what if I just like to play this certain game? And that's nothing wrong with either of those, but it's easy to kind of get drowned out and kind of forget who you are and forget that there is a space for you. So I would say, as far as like healing and stuff like that and getting into your best self is a good way to start to represent yourself and not forgetting who you are and that you as a person is uniquely different and needed in each space. Now representing community, that kind of ties into representing self, because I feel like as a community, we all need to accept that there are going to be different versions of self. Everybody has a different version of self and everybody is unique. Like, you know, everybody likes to say like Black people aren't a monolith. Nobody's a monolith. Like everybody has different opinions, different ways of life, different walks of life, different versions. Some people see both sides of things, some people don't. And I think we just have to not be mad about that when it comes to each other in the community. We actually should embrace that, because I feel like that's how we get to the point of having these discussions and actually having honest discussions, which in turn will support the community, will enhance the community, because we're having these discussions like that. So in terms of like representing the community, I think we do have to really focus on the fact that we have to focus on ourselves individually, but realize that we're unique and not everybody is going to think like us and like the same things we do. And we have to honor that and really appreciate that about each other in order to really represent and appreciate the community.
Thank you for covering that topic. Next topic. You did it, girl. Yeah. Anybody else want to follow behind that? Anyone? Look, people like, yeah, no, right. I'm like, I'm actually going to shoot this next question to T. So let's stay in this space. So how do you represent yourself while gaming? How do you do that, T? How do you make sure you show up and represent self? What does that look like?
For me personally, I do always basically give people what I am, even when I'm like, I'll give you what I am when I'm alone. You're gonna get what you get. If you don't like it, hey, that's fine. If you like it, hey, we cool. What's up? Like, but for me,
Yeah.
I like to be relaxed. I'm a really relaxed person, which is why like a few months ago or like a month or so ago, I changed my name to Cozy Reality. I want for people to see me how I see myself. I am a relaxed person. I like to chill. I want the people who come to me to also be able to feel that vibe and enjoy that vibe as well. So I will always treat you with all utmost types of respect. I will treat you like a friend, even if you are not at the moment. So you come in and you're welcome, no matter what. You can come in Discord, we can chill, we can watch some videos, we can watch anime. We're just all here to have a good time at the end of the day. And I don't want people to get the wrong idea when it comes to that kind of thing. Like, I'm nice, but if you step wrong, that's a whole different situation. But when it comes to representing yourself, I want people to be able to like really just enjoy who they are as a person. Let me see who you are as a person, and we can connect that way. We can have similarities, we can have differences, we can talk about that. We can talk about anything. We can talk about how your day was. We can talk about how your mom is doing.
Yeah.
I just want a
Thank you.
space where everybody can just be comfortable at the end of the day.
Yeah. Thank you. But if you step wrong, like
Because there are people who will take kindness for granted. Like, there are people who will do that.
But the way you said that was just like, I love the birds and the trees, but if you step wrong, like, yes, I'm with it. I am with it. And shout out to you, I gotta say it, because we're all in different coasts and zones and stuff that are here today. So we didn't step wrong. Thank you, my sister, for letting us know. Anybody want to go behind? Listen. You hear me? When she said, if you step wrong. Anybody want to go behind that?
I don't want to step wrong, so no.
I too don't want to step wrong.
Dang, I ain't got nothing to say after that.
I don't want to step wrong. Okay.
She's like, I got my Glock. Step wrong. But I like the birds and the trees and it's warm outside. All right. So let's go with some more questions. Let me pose this actually to you, Rabbit. And I'm looking to the side, guys, because I'm looking at my questions. So, are there spaces within gaming and technology? I'm going to say specifically for Black women to feel to feel safe and just be. Let me just say that again. Are there spaces within gaming and technology for Black women to feel safe and just be? If yes, can you name a few? And not just Rabbit. Rabbit will answer first, and if anybody else wants to go afterwards.
I think this is evolving more towards yes. So I'm actually going to kind of piggyback off T and a little bit of Kizzy and circle back with my answer, not to be long winded, but I want to emphasize that I actually am in a very specific niche of gaming, especially compared to all of the lovely women here, where I do purely episodic content on YouTube. And in the retro realm in particular, that has historically, and I would say even currently, been occupied by one specific group of people. I actually think I'm the only BIPOC female who has some sort of presence. I have about 10,000 subscribers and over 1 million views across all of the Let's Plays that I've created on YouTube. And I don't think that specifically as a realm of gaming is very inviting of people of color. And that's not to say that I think there are intentional and deliberate barriers put up, but I think when you look at gaming at its roots and as like a historical medium of entertainment, it really was not something that was ever heavily marketed to people of color, especially women. I guess I should put that lens on this too. I think when you look at even the protagonists from games of old, anytime there was a female that was portrayed in that, usually it was in more of a damsel in distress type role or a very heavily sexualized strong female, and I'm one of those people that I try to be very positive, and I very much enjoy a lot of these games that I think now would not make the cut, right? Like, I don't think anyone would be very open to Sophia from Soul Calibur, for example, in a modern day game the way that she was, even though she was portrayed and depicted as a strong mother that fought to save her children. She was very heavily sexualized, it to the point where her sexuality was kind of one of her defining features, and then the strength and courage and everything kind of came after the fact. So I say all of this to lay the foundation for my answer that I do think there are still realms of gaming where I think people of color are coming onto the scene. I think retro gaming is still not very heavily occupied by BIPOC individuals. However, I do think in general, when we're looking at technology and when we're looking at modern gaming, we see a lot of games that have now kind of thrust people of color to the forefront and allowed some of our younger children to identify with the characters being portrayed. I think if we go back to even The Walking Dead, looking at Lee as a Black male as that protagonist, and then looking at Clementine as a biracial like pseudo protagonist, and then I know she was in the later episodes as the focal character. So I think modern gaming and modern technology, the recognition and the desire to have more representation and to have more diversity is being prioritized. I think there are also a lot of subgroups now where these communities have kind of branched out on their own to create those spaces because they realized those deficits were there. So I think of even Reddit having special spaces for Black female gamers. I know there are Discord channels that are dedicated to Black female gamers or female gamers of color. So I think it's getting there. I do think we still have a ways to go, but not even just in gaming. I think just across the board, we've still got a ways to go. But we're making progress. And I think as we are seeing more people kind of entering the scene and expressing more interest in gaming and tech, that tells me that the door's being opened, even if it's not as wide open as it should be. It's more so than it was, I think, even when I entered the realm of gaming as a child. So very long answer, but I hope that addresses your question.
No, and I appreciate it. And I'm actually going to take the liberty and say it, that I think the vast majority, when you think about gaming, when we say, racially, it's predominantly white males. And you do see white women in that space, but, if we're really looking at it and you're looking at it in totality, you generally see that, even at teenage years too, as well. So no, thank you for that. Anybody else? And let me just ask the question again. Are there spaces within gaming, right, and technology for Black women? We can even say, Black/minority women to feel safe and just be. If so, what are they? What are these spaces that you guys have?
Hey,
I'm
Inf.
nah. I gotta pull the trigger on. I gotta pull the trigger on
Let
this
me
one.
go
No,
before you.
no, no, no.
It's gonna
I gotta
segue
pull
into
the.
you.
I
It's
gotta
gonna
pull.
segue into you.
No,
I'm
let
telling
her
you.
I
segue into you. No, I don't even know
Let
what's
me
going
get
on.
it
Go
out.
ahead.
It's
go
very,
ahead. Go
very
ahead.
short.
Go ahead.
It's very short. I want to say this. I already know what Inf is gonna say, but I'm not gonna take away from what you're gonna say. I'm going to enhance it because for me, this is my personal experience. I've been a part of different groups and stuff like that. You all may or may not know them, but for me, where I feel the most comfortable is actually in certain Black women's individual spaces, specifically Inf and Pops. Like there's only, I think, not to take this away from anybody else, but personally for me, they're the only 2 out of 3 women Black gamers that I watch on Twitch right now, because their communities in general make me feel comfortable as a Black woman to come and just be myself, and I don't have to dumb down what I am as a Black woman. That I, even though I look different from other Black women, and my hair is different, or my skin color is different, or I do things a different way, or I got piercings, or whatever the case may be, I feel comfortable being myself. And I can say that it's not like that in a lot of people's communities, even Black women. Like, unfortunately, that's the thing. So I just wanted to say that, like, and put that out there. Y'all can go now, but yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I honor that. Thank you.
That makes me smile a lot. Thank you. I will pull this trigger real quick. Um, I belong and I moderate and I have a lot to say and do with a lot of Black communities. I have a lot to say and do with a lot of communities that are uplifting for women. So there are various spaces that have a home for a lot of us, whether it is tech, whether it is art, whether it is retro, whether it is music. The problem is that a lot of these spaces don't get the recognition that they should. They don't get spoken of like they should.
That's good.
Me, Pop, and T all belong. And currently we have some of our sisters in chat right now, Brown Girl Gamer Code. We are a huge, diverse, and when I say diverse, I mean diversity within Black women. So many different types of Black women within that community, where we have love for horror, love for retro, love for shooters, love for art, love for music. Brand has brought us together. I am a part of another community called the Scream Reapers, is for women of color. There are Black women, there are Latino women, there are Indian women who love horror and love makeup. I am a part of Noir, which is a Black content creator community, which is teaching us stuff. So I'm also a part of something called Ladies Night FGC, which is ran by a Black woman who is getting other women together to play fighting games. So these communities exist. And like Kizzy said, a lot of us do have our own communities. What has happened is, because of what has transcended over the past several decades, I'm not even going to say years, I'm going to say decades, from the harassment, the abuse, the disrespect, the neglect, it's not always verbally, publicly known. I am currently sitting here in over 100 discords. Some of them are business and some of them are people's personal discords. Like Kizzy said, like T said, some of us has taken it from our creating our content to now creating a space, because we do know, I'm about to quote one of the oldest games out there that I love, it is dangerous to go alone. Like, dead. Like, we do need support systems, whether we are into this, whether we are into that, whether we look like this, whether we talk like that, whether we are on this side of the pond or across the pond. We need to be able to have support for ourselves. And we, over the past several years, have cultivated and made those. So even though there are certain ones you may hear more of, there are a lot of others that may take a few networking and niching through, but they are there. They are really genuinely there. Unfortunately, they have had to do what they've had to do to protect themselves. So hopefully within the next few years, it may be a little bit safer. Also, maybe they will have more recognition, or maybe, I
Yeah.
don't know, somebody will give me a check mark and then I can make a bigger community. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? But the fact is there are people who want to do it, who have the heart to do it. It's just not always the chance to do it as publicly and as openly as they would like to, for all types of spaces, like not just, you know what I'm saying, not just Twitch. Like I said, I Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, gaming, TikTok, bloggers, Reddit. Like, people need these spaces, but they
Yeah.
also unfortunately have to hide them under the blanket of security, because they will get attacked, they will be
Hmm.
belittled, you know what I'm saying? And then people don't feel
Hmm.
safe and want to trust that anymore. And you got to be able to have the security and the trust there when you're building stuff like that. That's all my big
Yeah.
mouth got to say.
No, I honor this. It's a lot that was said. And thank you for shouting those entities out, right? The ones that don't get the recognition. There's some of the major ones that I know, and I'm not a gamer at all, but the ones that I know, even if you do like a quick search, you know the ones that do pop up. So shout out to you for creating space for them, for mentioning these other entities where you can go to feel safe, and create these spaces. Let me ask you guys this, and this is going to be the last question for this topic. So, what practical advice would you give a Black girl, a Black or a minority girl who's a gamer, who's afraid to show up, right, and occupy her space in this gaming world? What would you say to her? How does she do that? How does she feel safe? Let me actually go to, and I see the eyes kind of going. I'm going to go to you, Pop. Let's go to you to see how maybe you will respond to this. I mean, let me just say the question again. So, what practical advice? I say practical because a lot of times we give advice and it's not practical. Would you give that Black girl or that minority girl who's a gamer to just show up and occupy your space in this world?
Now I'm thinking back to what I did as a kid, and most of that was just having my own boundaries. Like, I knew what I liked, I knew what I wanted, and I realized that I was always actively searching out people that I either had similar interests or had like a similar vibe of, I like what I like. I don't care what you like, but you're cool. We can chill. Sometimes you just have to find people to vibe with. It's easier to be yourself and to find those people you can mesh with versus trying to don't force yourself to fit it anywhere. Like, I all the schools I went to, I'm a military brat. So all the different schools that I went to, I was always known as like the weird kid. Like, I wasn't popular. I wasn't the kid that got bullied. I was in this weird space where I could hang out with different groups of people.
Hmm.
Like, I don't want to say I had different sets of friends because they were all mutuals, but because I was myself, I didn't fit into a specific box. I was me. I wasn't, the band kid. I wasn't the choir kid. I wasn't I wasn't the athletic kid. I was me. People just do me as me. Um it's just better to just be yourself.
Yeah. Anyone else? Thank you for that. What would you say to the girl? What would you say to the young lady? Would you say anything to her?
I would actually. I have conversations like this quite a lot with several of my patients as I see adults as well as juveniles. And I love what Pop actually said. So I'm actually biracial, and I also grew up a military brat moving around all the time. And a big part of that is it's a blessing and a curse, right? But it encourages flexibility, it encourages adaptability. And I think when it comes to finding a safe space, I always tell a lot of the young women that I work with to be proudly and unapologetically you. And if there's something that you
Hmm.
are interested in or that inspires you, focus on that. There will always be naysayers, but any of the toxicity or volatility that comes from other people, that's a reflection of them. It's not a reflection of you. And I can even like liken back to when I was first entering the specifically the episodic like retro game scene of creating like let's plays, because it is very niche, especially now compared to how most people stream gaming now. So I think the episodic format is not quite as popularized or as popular as it once was. But I think you need to recognize what motivates you, what inspires you, what your passionate about. And then a lot of people will be drawn to that. They'll be drawn to that authenticity. And you'll find really quickly, regardless of language or racial identity or anything, even sexuality, a community will kind of come, and you'll find yourself with wonderful peers, and you guys all end up supporting each other, which again, like, lends itself to what I had said earlier, that I think that diversity and having so many different perspectives and mindsets, that's what's going to allow gaming to continue to thrive. And any realm, like art, music, technology in general. I think when people start focusing on what it is they're doing and what it is that they are interested in, all different types of mentalities and walks of life kind of come together. And that's when you see a really beautiful final product. So that would be what I would just continue to tell young ladies.
Show up, unapologetic. I love it. I love it. Anyone else before we move on to the next topic? Okay. I just want to remind everyone that T said, don't try her. That's not actually what she said, but she said, don't try her. Okay. All right. I know. Yes, honey. So I know. I'm a song.
Gotta watch yourself.
Listen, this all up. Right? See, like she's not even with it. Let's talk about the cultural divide while gaming. And actually, I'm going to shoot this to T. This is going to be you first. So here's the first question. So in the world of gaming, is there a cultural divide? If yes, how do you describe it? What is it and how do you describe it?
I would say definitely, for sure, there is a divide. Even between men and women, for the most part. There are men who only play sports games, Madden, 2K, things like that. And if you find a girl who is on that, who can be just as good or even better than them in that space, it can become an issue just for her being a woman alone. And to be honest, with how far women have come with being able to do what they can do, I feel like that should not still be an issue today, even just between Black women and Black men. We should always be uplifting each other, no matter what. Even if I end up being better than you at something, that's fine. You can work just as hard and get above me. It can be a friendly competition at that. When it comes to just the divide between Black women, white men, white women, things like that, there literally is a door that you have to find a way in just to get to their space, just to get your name out there even more. So that's why these spaces alone, BGC, everything Infozen, everything Siri's doing, everything you are doing to get Black women, people of color together to empower each other to keep doing what they're doing, it's really, really important. We have to keep going. We have to keep doing what we love, no matter what. No matter what the situation is, no matter what people may say, we just have to keep going. We have to get that cultural divide to a minimum. We have to get it to a minimum, no matter what it is, no matter the small steps we need to take. We're gonna get there, but it will take time.
Yeah. You said something that just stood out to me, and thank you for that. And I didn't even think about this. When you think about culture, you're thinking like white, Black, automatically that comes to mind, right? But you said something about Black men. Let me ask you all this question. This is not even a question I have written down on my tablet. Is there a cultural divide? Do your Black men, our minority men, our men, right? That we chant so loudly, that some of them may chant, support Black women or whatever. Do they support you? Let me ask you that. Do they create that space where you do feel supported and you feel that you can occupy the same space as them? Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna sit there and say it's 50-50. Sometimes not even 50-50. I would be a complete liar if I said that I don't have Black men that support me in gaming. But I would also be lying if I didn't sit there and say I've had more Black men tear me down for what I do before I have had white men. I would be a complete lie. I have
Wow.
had Black men who I thought were friends tear me down and destroy me because they felt they should have my placement, they should have my attention, they should be working with companies, they should be making the money that I've made. I've had them disrespect me publicly and privately because
Mm.
they wanted to be the center of attention. But on the other side of that, I have a Black male community manager. I have Black men mods. They protect me by any means necessary. I've been in public
Good.
spaces with them. They have protected me. I had a situation, matter of fact, yesterday on Twitter, my community manager called me and said, "It's handled. Don't worry about it. Just make sure they're blocked."
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
but honestly, before I even got into content creating, I was underground gaming. And when I say underground gaming, we didn't really have, you know what I'm saying, like tournaments all like that in my area. So people would sit there and go to each other's houses, go to each other's basements, you know what I'm saying, gather where we could to have these what we call LAN parties. If you know what I'm saying, if you old enough to know what a LAN party is, we would have LAN parties. What would tend to happen is I've dated nothing but male gamers, nothing but male gamers. I was the girlfriend. I walked in as the girlfriend. I walked in, and the crazy part of it is people see me now and they think I walked in how I walked in now. No, I walked in with a hoodie, baggy pants, no cleavage showing, hair in a ponytail, pants just as baggy as my dudes, Tim's and Nikes on. So I didn't give the oh, that's his chick, but they knew I was his chick. He was the one, you see what I'm saying, sitting there saying, well, no, I'll put my girl on the sticks. He was the one. But then at the same time, while I'm getting on the sticks, I'm in a room with 15, 25 men. The only other two women, they not there to game. They there to be with they men. So once I jump on the sticks and they don't like what I'm doing, I'm the one getting attacked. And all these other men are helping them attack me. These women ain't gonna stand up to their men. I can't really knock them. At this time, we young, we didn't know nothing. But my own man didn't even stand up for me. You see what I'm saying? It took other people outside seeing situations go on. So that's what I mean. You brought me here because you wanted to make it seem like you were proud of me. But in all retrospect, you just wanted to use me. And then when stuff got heavy, you know what I'm saying? You dropped me. But then they wonder why we're so upset. Like women and I'm just gonna say nerd culture. That's what I'm gonna use. You'll see a tweet that sits there and it says, "Oh well, women don't like men who play video games, and women don't like men who play anime." No, we love y'all. We love y'all. What we don't like is the fact that you're just as much disrespectful to us as these so-called thugs you think we really want. In all retrospect, you disrespect us more because you should understand. You know how it feels to play Call of Duty and get called the N-word. You know how it feels to be good in the game and have somebody disrespect you. So you should at least have some empathy for what we go through on our end. But what's crazy is y'all are the ones that'll sit there and disrespect us the most before they even get the chance to. So yeah, nah, I'm not gonna lie. It's come a long way, but like it's been said on the panel, it needs to be addressed. It's one of those topics that don't really get talked about because we don't want to get bashed about it. Like I said, I love our Black men. I love our Black men. I want greatness for our Black men, but our Black men got to learn. I don't care if you're attracted to us or not. I don't care if you want to date a Black woman or not. But if you have a Black woman in your family, in your space, and if you talk to her how you talk to all of us maybe have done on this panel, how would she react? Or how would you react if somebody talked to her like that? That's where the real question comes up. And then that's where people be like, well, you know, ain't nobody gonna disrespect my mama. Why? Somebody has disrespect your mama. I guarantee it. Your mama anywhere near my age or older than me, somebody had disrespected your mama. You just wasn't around to have to step up for it. And guess who had to protect her? She did. Guess who has to protect me? I do. Guess who has my daughter's gonna have to protect herself. And that's what's sad. Very, very sad.
I have a question. This is because this is good. So how do we change that? That's my question. So how do we change it? Do we now create space with, like you said, with Black male gamers and Black women, who game as well, and we start having these tough dialogues? How do we change the needle? How do we move it forward? Because I mean, when you said, like, my heart is like really crying right now, hearing you say that, right? It hurts my heart alone to hear that our men just do that, period. But when we're in the space and we're occupying these spaces where we know that we are really not the majority, and being in a minority bracket, and our men still don't cover and protect us, not all, like you said, not all, but the ones that don't, shame on you. So how do we change that? How do we move the needle? I guess that's the question for everybody. Like, how does this, what happens?
I'm itching.
Yeah,
Like,
please.
here's the thing. Why is it always on a Black woman or a woman of color to change the world?
I knew it.
Why?
There it
the
is.
thing is, we always go to bat, not just in gaming, we always go to bat for everybody else, and nobody rarely shows up for us. We get looked over all the time. I've watched it happen. I've watched it happen to me. I watched it happen to Inf. I watched it happen to Inf multiple freaking times. And it's like, hello, like, I used to mod for somebody who's really, really big, really big. I'm not gonna name who they are. They've been on different platforms, but they're as big as the big white male streamers, except they're Black. And a lot of people were looking like, well, creative, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And it's like, I had to stop supporting men who don't support Black women. I just had to. It's like, you have Black women gunning for you and pushing you up there and getting you to 100 views and getting you to 10,000 views and getting you to 1 million followers and getting you to this, that don't expect nothing back. But when it comes time for you to be in a position to push that Black woman forward, you don't. Whether it's the opportunity to have that Black woman play with you on stream, the opportunity to put that Black woman's talents on your platform to show that she can do something too. It's not just me. And she exists. Because you hosted her when you had 40 viewers. But when you get 10,000, you don't know where she is, but she's been modding in your stream for 5 years. Like, that happens to so many of us. And it's just like, I'm kind of over Black women having to do something about it. We are tired. Hello, Black men, we fighting the same damn fight you fighting. Black men trying to fit in with, I'm sorry, I'm about to get really, really Malcolm X, but Black men are fighting so hard to fit in a white man's space, but got the nerve to disrespect their own women. Hello, the village is always upheld by the women regardless. Yes, the men push us forward, but the women is the soul and the body and the mind and the heart. Okay, you can't move your chess pieces without your queen. You just cannot. And a lot of Black men don't realize that at all. It's not just like that in the gaming space, but it comes out in the gaming space a lot because they forget about us. When tournaments come up and they want to play Call of Duty and they want to play all these different games and they want to commentate, we have to make our own spaces as Black women to commentate, to have tournaments. That's why they had the Fortnite Ladies Night tournament years ago, because we had all these other Fortnite tournaments, millions of them, but they weren't letting even women, just white women, they weren't letting no type of woman in those spaces. So Black women, to hell, like, how was we gonna get in that space? Y'all ain't even letting white women in. Are you kidding me? And then they want to know why sometimes we have to leave them out, because y'all done had y'all shine. Y'all always pick each other to go for bat. Y'all always pick each other on the little league team and leave the Black women just sitting on the bench. We the last to get picked. And then we don't get picked because there's no more spots left. I'm sick of it. I'm over it. So my thing is, at this point, if Black men want support from us, they have to start supporting us, or they're going to get run over, because Black women are tired. We're creating our own spaces and we're worried about ourselves. I think at this point, Black women, we're going to always support Black men. I'm not saying all Black men are horrible. I love Black men. But what I'm saying is, at this point, I just feel like Black women, we need to focus on ourselves. Women of color, we need to focus on ourselves. We're always going to support everybody because it's in our nature to do so. But I don't want us to continue to put ourselves on the back burner just to support somebody who is going to poo-poo on us in the long run. I'm sick of that happening to any of us. And that has a lot to do with me, people wondering like, where's creative? Where's creative? Why don't you stream? Why don't you this? Because I'm tired. I'm literally tired. I literally only watch 6 people on Twitch religiously, and 2 of them are in this room. Like, that's it. That's all it's been for me for the past couple months, because I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing Black women get poo-pooed on. Sorry, I have to watch my language. Get poo-pooed on for this. So my thing is, to all the women of color out there, to all the Black women out there, keep focusing on us, because since nobody got us, we got us. Because I mean, that's just how it's gonna have to be. And it's the hard truth. If a Black man is in here and gets offended by it, I'm sorry, but y'all don't pick us.
That's okay.
Y'all don't pick us. And if it's you that picks us, you still don't check on your brother that's not picking us. You don't check your man. You watch you stand by and watch your friends poo-poo on us and not pick us. And just because you do, you feel like you're doing something right. No, you're not speaking up. But yet you want the white man to speak up for us as Black people, but you can't even speak up for your own woman. Make it make sense.
Right.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
That's all I got. That's all I gotta say.
No, listen, let me just go for you really quickly before somebody else taps in. So how do we get you out of that space, right? Because I understand being exhausted, being tired, and you were right. And I knew it was going to come. Someone was going to say it, because the weight of the world, it does fall on Black women. When people want apologies, they come to the Black woman, right? They do. And we carry a lot. We carry so much. And I'm with it, sis. Like, we done and we're tired. Let me ask you this. How can we get you out of that space of be tired, but you don't lose the passion of what you love to do? How do you come out of that space so you could use your voice like you just did, and you keep standing, so you keep creating spaces, not for the girls and women behind you, but those that are in front of you as well? So how do you come out of that?
I think just having more conversations like this, where I'm able to like speak and actually speak my opinion and not have anybody shoot me down, because I feel like I may speak for a lot of people, but I'm mainly so speaking for myself. Like, sometimes I'm quiet on Twitter because I've watched how people come to say things like, let's come together and let's do this, and them get like berated on the internet just because they may not want to, crap on the next person for their opinion or something like that. I've watched us tear each other apart online, and that's just sickening to me. And it's like, me as one individual, I've always been the type of person to try to swoop in and save everything, but in the gaming community, it's hard. You see all this stuff, we're going at each other and stuff like that, and it makes it hard. And like I said, it's not just like If was saying, it's not just like us against Black men. It's been us against each other. And that just shouldn't be like that. It's like, that's the thing that makes me just recluse, because it's like, what can I do? Who do I step to? Because the people, I'm sorry, but within the past couple of years, we've had a lot of the people we look to as Black women and Black men turn on us. Like, I don't want to say like huge names, but people like, not just gamers, but people like in gaming careers that we were looking to help lift us up, that were opening doors for us. Behind the scenes, we find out they're not about us at all. And so that's been hard. So for me individually, I've been going on like my own healing journey and focusing on like other things to kind of help me like get back into the gaming community, because I love it. Like, if I didn't want to be in it, I wouldn't be on here right now. I would have told you like, look, I can't do this no more. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm sick of it. But I just feel like people need to hear my voice. I feel like people in my community specifically have been waiting to hear from me. So having these discussions is definitely going to help people like me, because I know I'm not the only person that feels this way. I'm probably just the only person like with this platform right now that's able to like say something and be heard. But it's going to take some time, because a lot of us are jaded and a lot of us, are like scared because we watched our sister over here, get poo-pooed on, and we're like, we don't want that to be us. A lot of people, I'm not built for that. And if I am built for that, y'all gonna see a whole different side of Kizzy. Okay. I'm gonna be over there like T, like, don't cross me. Okay. Don't
What the God?
you can step if you want to. I'm from Chicago, the southeast side of
You better come
Chicago.
on,
So
Chicago, Chi-Town.
okay,
Come
so
on. With
y'all don't want that to come out. I may be the most hated, but here's the thing. If I know I have that support to be myself, to come out and be myself, is that crazy, goofy. I'm the person that loves everybody. So if I know I have the space to come out as that woman, oh, y'all gonna see me come out as that woman. And I feel like having conversations like these is helping me come out like that. Like I'm getting to the point where it's like, you know, I don't care what people think. And you know what people are going to think, what they're going to think. Like Rabbit was saying, like, I forgot what you said, but you said something really pivotal about us basically not caring what other people saying and just pushing forward. So that resonated with me. And that is very true. So that's like the journey that I'm on right now. And that I feel like it's helping anybody else that's in my predicament.
I honor that because, and I even know talking with, actually I met with you individually. Some of you were on our last event that we had a couple of months ago, but when you were saying that, you know, is it safe to talk? Is it safe? You know, kind of sifting out who's who. That's why I keep saying I honor you guys because I get it. And I know what that means to have someone kick your back in. We all do. You know, people that you think are for you. It's like, so what's your agenda? And everyone doesn't have a bad agenda. The agenda can be good, right? Where you can kind of have spaces and things like this. So please let me just say this again that I honor this. And please don't apologize. You be you, Malcolm X, because I'm with it. You know what I mean? Like while I'm not in gaming, I'm with it. One has a Glock and the other one is Malcolm X. So I honor you all sharing, seriously, sharing your heart. And sharing what we see in society, but also knowing that it happens in the world of gaming, right? And I'm going to say, you got to do better. You got to do better, right? Sis is tired, we tired. Get your whole life and do better. And for those that aren't, please know that they will be exposed. It doesn't have to be this platform. We don't need names, but know that later on down the line, you will always be exposed. Trust me, you will always be exposed one way or another. So you guys keep standing there and fighting the good fight. Let me just open it up. Any other thoughts with this? Because this totally diverted, which I love. All of the questions I had with them culturally defined in gaming. And I'm not asking any of them because I love this space, right? Because I didn't think about, thank you, T, for starting it off. Because I didn't think about our men, Black men. Any other thoughts on this? Any other comments? Are we good? We want to keep it kind of where it is? Because I'm not going to ask any of the questions. I'm just like, I'm actually looking at my questions. Actually, let me ask this question. Let me take it back to our youth because I always want to drive it back, right? So as we all move forward in life, it is important for us to go behind, right, and pull up. So how do you encourage the Black girl or the Black boy who's in gaming to use your voice and to speak when you know something is wrong? Because if adults can't do it, then my God. So what do you guys say to those youth? What do you say to those that may see the blatant divide, be you know, with our race or with others? What do we tell them? Do we say anything?
The one thing I think that's hard for our youth, and I say this as a mother of an entire whole 11-year-old, is a lot of them don't have a space to talk about it. I think what needs to go on as with us as adults, us as parents, us as aunties and uncles, and so on and so forth, is giving them the safe space to come and talk to us. The one thing that I personally do with my own child and I consistently encourage, and I know Rabbit says she works with children as well, is for them to be able to, with respectfully, so before anybody
Right.
be like, hold on, wait a minute, and what are you talking about? Within limits. Yes, they are younger than us. Yes, they are our children. I was raised in a household where children were supposed to be seen and not heard. It messed me up. I'm nuts. You see what I'm saying? Because I wasn't allowed to say anything about what was going on with me, what was going on around me, what involved me. So within limits, if it involves them, if it's in their space, if they're having stuff go on in school, if they're having stuff go on in their games, if they're having stuff go on with their friends, you have to stop. Not, and I'm not, like I said, if you are one of those people that are open to do it, cool. If you have a little person around you and you're letting them do it, cool. If you give them the safe space to do it. My daughter, people have heard her on stream raging, and they're like, what is she in there doing? Playing Roblox. And she'll come in here and she'll tell me, you know, there was one particular story. She came in here and She just puts her characters in whatever clothes that she wants to, whatever. And her little friend is playing, and she said, "Mommy, these boys came in here and they talk about we don't need to be sitting here playing this game. We need to be back in the kitchen." I said, "Oh, word? That's what they
Hmm.
said?" She was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I don't even know how they knew we was girls, and I don't even understand why they said that." I said, "Because they're ignorant." I said, "Because
Yeah.
somebody around them has said that to them." I said, "So you get back on your game and you block them. Don't argue with them. Don't give them any extra energy. You block them and you go back to your friends and you play your game. You have to give them the solution to the problem. Just saying, "Oh, suck it up," you know what I'm saying, deal with it. Because if that's the case, tell my grown butt to suck it up and deal with it. Maybe that's the
Mm.
problem with us now. It's because we spent generations saying suck it up and deal with it versus letting somebody sit there and say, "This hurt my feelings. This bothered me. I feel uncomfortable. I don't like how this makes me. I feel little and small and betrayed, and I have trust issues now." Instead of us being able to say those things, we were told to suck it up. We were told to deal with it. We were told it's just online gaming. It ain't really gonna hurt you. Here we are several years later where people have sat there and, I don't know, hurt themselves because of online gaming, because of internet bullying, because of canceling. So, what the steps that need to be made for our youth is we need to stop the doors that were closed on us and reopen a new door in a whole safe manner so that they can come approach us. And don't get me wrong, like I said, my daughter would sit there and stomp around, and I'll be like, "What's the problem? I can't get this last purse." What last purse? I don't know. It's supposed to be like they're gonna have you, especially if you are a gamer. If you are a gamer, you are going to hear yourself in these little people. I hear myself in my daughter and my nieces and my nephews and my friends' children. I hear myself. I get mad when I can't make a jump. I get mad when I get stuck. I get mad when I get third party. I get mad when my game decides to crash. These are all things I go through as an adult. So why can I not understand it from their aspect? Why? Because they're a kid? Because they're possibly 10 to 20 years younger than me? Why? Huh? What? No,
Mm.
I understand. So give them the door. Like I said, within respect. No, you're not about to have no kid come up and swear at you talking about this BS is BS and da, 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 da. No, 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 no. We shutting that down. But give
Yeah.
them the opportunity to vent about it, vent about what's around them. Give them the tools that we were not equipped with in this given this gaming world. Don't take disrespect, whether it's male or female, whatever they identify as, whatever color they have on their driver's license. Don't, don't, don't. Like I think T and Kizzy said, boundaries. Set them
Yeah.
up. If you don't feel
Mhm.
like playing a multiplayer game, tell them, "I don't feel like playing a multiplayer game." If you feel like playing a solo game, tell them you feel like playing a solo player game. Set those boundaries up now. So when you are my age, you're not just trying to set up a fence. You already got a whole entire monument up and you let in who you let in and you kick out who you want out versus I got a stick and I got some twine and I'm trying to make a rope now. Like it ain't gonna work. So yeah,
Mm.
that's what I have with that one.
Thank you. Last question in this, like you can, this topic, right? And shout out to everyone that's retweeting. My phone is like literally blowing up. With all of your folks that know you, because nobody knows me. So shout out to y'all, because they're like, "Yo, you gotta get in this conversation." Last question. So in our last event, and let me say, Pop was in it. Creative couldn't make it, and Infamous. They were in the last event that we had. We had a teenage girl who actually said she played Call of Duty, and someone alluded to this. I think it was Pop. I'm not sure. Anyway, she loves that game. Was in that space, but was called the N word. 16-year-old girl, and she said it during our event, right? Harmless, cute as a pie, loves the game. What do you say? Because as women, black, just minorities, we go through that. Just people kind of entering in, like you said. Um, Infamous, someone said to your daughter, "You need to be back in the kitchen." Like, how in the heck, like, how in the whole heck did you know that I'm a woman? First of all, female. Nevertheless, she was called the N word, not just once, but multiple times. 16 years old, right? Call of Duty. what do you say to her? And what do you say to those that like to game? And how do you address these situations? What do you do when you're called the N word? Let me actually go to Pop first to have you answer that question. And anybody else want to open it up or just respond to it? What do you do?
I'm a roaster. Kizzy, M, and T will tell you. You come at me sideways, and people in that are watching this as well. If they know me, they will tell you I'm a roaster. You come at me sideways, I will say something that will come for your neck, and you'll think twice about doing it again.
Lord, I got thugs on here. No,
I'm really, and I've been that way since I was a kid. My mom and my third grade teacher, they were coworkers for some time, and they still talk every now and then. And one day they were just talking about how I was in class, and this kid ran up to me and called me a nerd. And I said, at least when I grow up, I have a job and I won't be homeless drinking out of a brown paper bag. And my teacher was laughing in the corner as it happened. And I was like, I honestly don't remember that whole exchange. I'm a roaster. You know, I protected myself. You know, people try to cheat off me. If I catch you cheating, I was putting down the wrong answers, pretend I was done, and I would go back and put the right answers. I'd have a good grade. They'd have an F. I made sure they got an F. They tried to cheat off me. But no, I'm a roaster. It's hard to just say shake it off because you'll hear something and you get hurt by it. But if you're like me and you have a bit thicker skin and then you do shake it off, if you want to roast, you can roast. It's okay to roast. It's okay to roast. Now don't say nothing that'll make them, that would get you kicked off or reported or anything like that. But just a nice side comment where they think twice about who they step to.
Yeah. I'm with it. I'm like that silent assassin. I love it. Thank you, Pop. Kids, it's on your hand.
Yeah. I was just saying to kind of piggyback off Pop is, and Inf kind of what we talked about earlier is that'll tie into providing the younger girls with a solution. I feel like Pop's solution is, roasting them back. And for me, sometimes I do that. Like if you just get Chicago Kizzy, then I don't know what's gonna come flying out my mouth. But like sometimes I do like what Inf was saying. Like sometimes you just step back, you just block them, and you just go on about your day because you just don't have time to deal with give that energy to that, and just let them know look, people are ignorant. This is a lot of stuff you may have learned in school, you may have not. People are unfortunately still using this word against us to this day. That word does not necessarily have anything to do with your color. My grandmother told me at a very young age, N-words come in all colors. And ever since then, I have slowly not been offended by that word, because most people using that word, they're actually talking about themselves. So that's exactly like what I would say to a 16-year-old is literally just it's if I'm not going to say don't let it affect you, because it's affected me before. I'm not going to sit up here and say I've never been hurt, but sometimes you just have to know that it's not you, and it's that doesn't define you. And there are going to be people that just hate you just for being you, no matter what, just hate you just because you're born a certain way, hate you just because you look a certain way. And it can come from anywhere. And you know what? You just have to know, between you and the universe, that you are the sugar honey iced tea, and there you are unique. I'm going back to this uniqueness. You are unique, and nobody is like you, and a lot of people aren't going to like you for that, but you have to know a lot of people are going to love you for that. So you just stick to those people that love you for that, and don't worry about sugar honey iced tea else. Okay, that's pretty much it. Or do like me in Call of Duty. I don't play, I've become so good at games, and I'm hard of hearing too. So sometimes I just don't like to listen to people because I'm not going to understand what you're saying anyway. So I just don't do voice chat at all unless it's with people that I've heard enough times to know what they're going to say, or I can fill in the words. So for me, I just don't listen to, sometimes I don't even listen to the game volume. I'll literally just be listening to music and just playing my game. Like I'll make a multiplayer game into a solo person game, like just zone out like that. That's my my like getaway, my solution. But yeah, just letting them know the different solutions, and if they got to come up with their own solution that works for them, as long as it's healthy, just giving them that option.
Thank you. You guys are amazing. All right, let's flow to our next topic, even though I don't want to, but we will. So this next topic is called I Got You, Sis. And I'm actually going to kick this to Rabbit first to answer this question. Matter of fact, I think I want Rabbit and Infamous. Let me let Rabbit go first to answer this question, and then I'll open it up to others. Why do you think we have a tough time as Black women supporting one another? Why do we have a tough time as Black women supporting one another? And then let me do an addendum to this, Rabbit, and then you respond first and Infamous. What plays a role in this?
I think this is much deeper than gaming. I think this is a societal thing that goes back a long, long ways. And I think we, as women of color, were set up to feud with each other to keep us from being able to rise where we need to go. I don't think this is specific to gaming at all. I think this is in all fields of work. I've seen it even in my studies and in my work. I see it in everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And I think it's one of those things that we need to fix. And I believe all the lovely ladies here on this panel have already kind of loosely addressed this, that we need to reach a point where we stop viewing each other as one another's enemies and we come together as a community to raise ourselves up, because we're the ones that ultimately have the key to opening up the door. We can't rely on someone else to do it for us. We can't rely on I hate saying it like this, but it was already kind of mentioned that gaming has historically and is still to a point a white man's world. And I think white women are kind of entering in certain realms, and Black men are kind of stepping into a few realms. But like I even said, coming back to retro gaming, I'm like the only one that kind of has a platform on YouTube in that specific niche group. And I think it's, whether you're looking at streaming, whether you're looking at episodic content, we need to start empowering each other, and we need to start being the ones to push each other forward, because I think we were set up to be pit against one another, and it's kept us down. We've done the dirty work for a couple of these other entities that are sort of pulling the puppet strings behind the scenes. So I think the way we really resolve this, I can't even remember if you asked what I thought the solution to that was, but I really think conversations like this, like Kizzy said, us bringing it to the forefront, us being solutions oriented in how we approach these matters, and really empowering our young girls and empowering each other as adult women to recognize who we are, appreciating that we all are different, and moving together as a cohesive force. That's what's going to get us forward, not just in gaming, but I think in life in general.
Thank you. Infamous thoughts? Any thoughts?
All right. So what Rabbit said is I'm like dead spot on. I'm 100% in agreement with that. I remember something that was said to me at a young age, and it didn't even have anything to do with gaming or anything, right? What was said to me was, what you won't do, another woman will. And it had to do with the competition for the attention of men.
Yep.
We have been programmed into believing that we need to do anything by any means necessary to be chosen. Like Kizzy said, the whole pick me on the basketball squad. You see what I'm saying? Pick me to play the game. So we will step on each other. We will claw each other. You want to see a cat and a dog fight? If you've never seen it in person, it is a dangerous thing. And that is what we have been bred to do for generations, whether it's been through colorism, whether it's been through, body features, whatever the case may be, we are bred to tear each other apart. So what has happened is, in these gaming spaces, I call it crab in a barrel mentality, right? We have certain of us that are so busy will step on the next one, the next one, the next one to get out of the bucket just to get noticed by the people who ain't us, just to get the attention and the recognition from the people that ain't us. And now that they up here on this plateau, right? They're up here,
Right.
they kick the bucket over. They done stepped on everybody. They done dogged everybody to get here. They want to be the only person up there. That's the problem. And since they're up there, they need to dog anybody that gets close to being up there. They need to ignore and not give any opportunities to anybody that gets close to there. That's those type of people, that type of mentality is the problem. Or even to be worse, you do have somebody that does want to assist, but also they thinking about themselves in the process. If you get hired, then they get hired. So they'll ride your coattails till you get to a certain plateau, and then Mario bounce off you and dirt dog you behind your back while you're helping them. So these are all of the things that have been an issue with us. These are things I've had a problem with and I've spoken about. Matter of fact, I literally tweeted something. What was that? Because 1,000 Dreams Fund is in the chat. 1,000 Dreams Fund gave a grant away to 40 broadcast hers. And I literally said, and I say it all the time, leave the ladder down when you come up.
Yeah. Right.
Leave the ladder down when you come up. I've told everybody apply for the grant. Pop has told people, you see what I'm saying? Because Pop is also a grant recipient as well. We tell people apply. We've told plenty of people apply. You see what I'm saying? I take, just like how Kizzy brought us to you, we've been bringing people to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you put the ladder down. This table that's being built ain't even for us to sit at. That's the problem. People sitting there wanting to sit at this table to be the stuff that they are. The table I'm building ain't even for me. I want a billboard in New York to show my daughter. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I want a check mark to make a difference for others around me. I can't even get my words together. To get others around me, because like you said, little Black girls, little Black boys, little kids of color need to see us, all variations of us, tatted up, all skin colors, all hair colors, piercings, glasses, you know what I'm saying, disabled. They need to see all variations of us. And then also, with that being said, if once something becomes the norm of people seeing it, then the minority is now the majority. It swaps over. So then all the people who don't like us, who can't stand us, who don't want to sit with us, their big mouths ain't so loud because there's so many of us cheering each other on, lifting each other up. The whole, well, I don't know why they only doing stuff for women, or I don't even know how come Black women doing all of this, or I don't know why they only, all that just becomes over everybody's cheers. But that has to start with us stop stepping on each other. You may not agree, you can agree to disagree. There are a lot of things that I don't always agree with folks with. There are going to be things people don't agree with me with. There are people, I have somebody that just blocked me just because my name is everywhere. I don't even talk to this person. And you know what? You have all the open right to block me because of who I am. That's fine. That is perfectly fine. This is your internet. You pay your bill. This is your PC. You do all that. That's fine. Where it stops at is we can respectively not agree. We can respectfully and mutually not care for each other. The difference is you're not about to run around and be like, oh, M fraudulent. M can't really play Apex, or M them ain't even really M boobs, or you see that wig she got on. If you don't like me, then don't like me. It's okay. It's all right. If we cross paths, you are now non-existent to me. You are a non-factor to me. You have nothing to do with the growth, financial perks of me. If I am a mod or if I am a host somewhere, I will address you because guess what? That is my job. On a personal aspect, you do not exist. Your existence is futile. And I'm leaving it at that. I don't need to belittle you or degrade you anymore because, like Pop said earlier, if you really want to go that route, I'm really not a nice person. I really am known as the villain of Twitch. I really am. Like, I will say some stuff in a whole fashion, in an educational format that will not have a single swear word in it and leave you about this big. So I will take you there. But instead of doing that, I would rather just go our separate paths. But that mentality that, hey, I need to be the only one, or hey, I need to step on everybody to get there, yeah, that gotta go. Like, that's the issue
Yeah.
right there. That's it.
Good, good. Y'all talking good, as they say in the church. Y'all talking good in here. So to Miss T, this is for T and Kizzy. Let me go to T first. In showing up and representing Rabbit and Infamous Thank You, how do we do that for one another as Black women? What does that look like? And let me just say it again. In showing up and representing, how do we do that for one another as Black women? What does that look like?
In all honesty, when it comes to, you don't even really have to like a person to try to uplift them unless you just genuinely don't like them for who they are. You can uplift someone, even retweet something simple that they have going on, a new accomplishment, anything. You don't have to say nothing to them. You don't have to do anything. But when it comes to us, we know each other. I'm always going to say, congratulations. Thank you for putting me on to this. Thank you for streaming. Thank you for even being here. Thank you for your kind words, your wisdom, everything. But like Em said, there are people who are not going to like you, and that's okay. What
Right.
people do have to stop doing is getting on each other for not liking someone when they have done nothing to you. Don't put me down because you don't like me for some odd reason that no one knows about.
Right.
There is no reason for that. You can continue doing your
Yeah.
thing. I can continue doing mine. Like Em said, we go our separate ways. We continue climbing our own way. That's fine. I do think that regardless of that, you can continue to uplift people no matter what. Unless somebody has really done you wrong, there is no reason that you can't do a simple retweet, a simple like, anything like that. There is no reason to continue to put each other down. What are we doing that for? We're all trying to get to the same place. We're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to do what we like. It's really just a matter of tearing down that mentality and building a new one, forming a new one that everybody can get into. Forming a new mentality where, hey, you don't like me, that's fine. You don't say nothing about me, I don't say nothing about you. Hey, you like me, that's cool, let's work together. It's as simple as that.
Thank you. Kizzy, thoughts?
I would say just doing ourselves a favor and thinking about each other. Since we already know that we're all going through the same thing as far as being chosen last and far as being an afterthought, as far as not being thought of at all, is to just continue to think of and choose each other, because we're all going through the same thing. So it's kind of like I said, like, we have to kind of I know we're always going to champion for everybody because that's just in our nature, like I said before, but we really have to like focus on ourselves. Like, literally,
Yeah.
even if it comes down to the point where that's all you focus on is women of color and Black women for the next year, and that's going to get you in gear and you got the discipline to just keep doing that, then do that. Like, that's what I've been doing. Okay. I don't do anything except on my pages, my thoughts. I probably retweeted some stuff about Imp and Pop this right here, which I want to say I appreciate all of y'all for being here, because a lot of the people that I had Sharice reach out to, just some people poo-pooed on it, which says a lot more about them, but whatever. But I appreciate y'all for being here, because these are the conversations we need to have. Like, we need to, just because something isn't paying you to be Black or paying you to be a woman that you want to like not be involved with it, but at the same time on your platform you're saying that you want to uplift Black women and you want to do all this and that, but then I have Sharice reach out to you. I'm sorry, I'm just aiming stuff at people today. I have Sharice reach out to you and you know where to be found. It's a couple of you. Y'all know who you are. Y'all know where to be found, but y'all on Twitter saying how y'all for us, by us, and all this other stuff. FUBU, my BUTT. Like, put your money where your mouth is. Put your action where your mouth is. Actually support each other. Like, that's the thing that has had people like me reclusing, is because I had to dumb it down to only be in like 3 Black women communities, because the other ones I didn't know if they were for us. I didn't know if they were going to be the next person to be the not putting the ladder back down, like Inf said, or the next person to just, they say these things on Twitter. But when I know of these people, I know, let me let y'all know this now. Everywhere in every space I've been in, I'm the plug. Just like now, Sharice has reached out to all of y'all because of me, because it started. I pushed the Inf. Inf helped me get all the rest of y'all here, and so on and so forth. I'm like that in every space. So for me to watch people like silently X me out and exile me out of the space, like I felt it happen. I feel it happening. That's another reason I recluse, because I'm like, I don't have time for this. And then I still put people on, I'll put people on silently, which is exactly what I did. Because y'all say y'all want to do these things, but when I bring the table to y'all, like Inf saying, that's not even for us, it's for the generation after us, y'all don't want to do nothing about it. Actually show up. Put your money, put your mouth, put your words to action and actually show up. Stop just tweeting about it and actually do something about it. Like, you have not just a platform. We're helping you with the platform, but you have a whole boots on the ground, brick and mortar organization that's doing the things that Black women in the gaming community love to yip and yap and talk about, and love to say, we're looking for people to do this and we're looking for people to do that. But when I bring the horse to the water, they don't want to drink. We gotta drink. Like, hello. That's how this is gonna help. We literally have to help each other. And it can't just be about what sponsor is paying me now. It can't just be about that. It can't just be about how I'm gonna be a partner on Twitch and forget about the rest of y'all. Like, it can't just be about that. And that's what we have to get out of. We have to know that if we really want this to work for not just us, but the Black girls after us, we have to keep putting things in line, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. But I just need people to put their words into action, stop talking this BS on Twitter, and actually put some stuff into action and talk about it and have these conversations. Like, have the conversations, do the action, get involved with organizations like Dawn of Hope or other organizations in general. I don't know, there may be more out there, but actually do it. Support your Black women. Like, we have to be there for each other. That's it, and that's all.
I like that. And you know what? And I'm actually like all of you. I think 4 of you could probably know my temperament by now. Having engaged with you, I know T, you and I just met. But that's important that you say that. You know, it's like you bring the horse to the water, but drink. And if you don't want to drink, Sharice, speaking for self, I'm gonna move on. Believe me. You know, so, and I'm like all of you are saying, that cultivated community, people that want it. It's not about this. It's not always about this, right? Always about, you know, getting paid or doing X, Y, and Z. If you say it, like you were saying, Kizzy, put your money where your mouth is. You know, we used to say this growing up, word is bond. We said it as being cute, right? Word is bond, you know, but when you really unpack that, word is bond. Your word is your bond, right? So if you're screaming X, Y, and Z on these social media platforms that you're on, but you're not doing it, you'll speak for yourself. But, you know, for us, in the meantime, we'll keep going as a part of this movement, you know, exposing, you know, educating, but making sure people have access and opportunity. We'll keep going, and we'll keep it pushing, right? And like I said, to some of you kind of individually, whatever platform that we have, our goal, and I think Infamous said it too, is never about Sharice and what we do. I want y'all to shine. So let's go. Let's get Sony. Let's get Xbox. Let's get who we need to get so you guys can get that platform to do what you need to do. You need more followers? Great. Let's put something together so we can put you on, because it's about supporting one another. And we got to learn. You guys all said it. We got to learn how to do that as Black women, you know, but specifically as minorities, because I'm about sick of it. I'm really sick of it. And I'm about to act like T in 2 seconds. Pull up. That's exactly what she said. You ain't say it like that. But you said, pull up. Let me find out. Let me round off this, this topic really quickly with you, Pop. And really keeping the vein of what everyone's saying, but Kizzy kind of nailed it too as well. With what I'm getting ready to ask you, why is mentorship so important? Is that important in gaming? Like, is it that important that you have covering? Is what we call covering, right? As you're doing this, why is it important? Yeah, Pop is here. Here you go.
Mentorship is important for a lot of things. Think of having a mentor as the tutorial you play in a game. You never want to go into something not knowing what you're doing. Games that don't tell you what to do, or they might tell you in the middle of doing it, and it's just like, why didn't you tell me this sooner? Because there's two types of mentors. I've had various mentors in my life. I've had ones that will let me make a mistake and tell me afterwards, and I had other ones that they give me the advice, the guidance, and I am able to make my decision based off of what they told me. I prefer the latter, because the ones that let you make the mistakes probably make mistakes and don't want it. There's this idea of they want the best for you, but there's this idea of like you have to experience so much failure before you can have success, and it shouldn't be like that. Yes, you can learn from your mistakes. Yeah, people may fumble, but you don't have to do that 100% of the time.
That's right.
Like I give music lessons. I give private music lessons. I've been teaching piano for almost a decade now. Close to it. It'll be 10 years in 2 years. But I've been teaching piano for a while, and I always give my students a head up. I explain everything thoroughly, and if they follow it, great. If they don't, I tell it to them again until they get it right. But no, having a mentor is good because it helps with, one, you're connected with someone that is similar to you, and by similar I mean and it's speaking from the mind of a mentee. This person is where I want to be. This person has the connections already. This person knows how to navigate the area that I'm in. This person knows who to avoid and will tell me who to avoid or what to avoid, so I don't stub my toe on the edge of the bed and end up crying on the floor. It's good to have someone that can help you navigate certain spaces. Like, I'm a grad student. If it wasn't for my undergraduate mentor, I don't know what I would be doing, because originally I wanted to change my major. I was tired as a sophomore. I hated music. I didn't want to play nothing anymore. I didn't want to sing anymore. A mentor came up, said, hold up, wait a minute. Did you know you could do this? So now I'm in grad school. I'm about to get my PhD. But I wouldn't be here if she didn't pull me off to the side when I was crying in her office saying that I don't want to be, like, she literally just caught me in the hallway crying after a rehearsal. I was just like, I don't want to be a music major anymore. I hate music. I'm tired of playing. I'm tired of being asked to be in 3 different ensembles and having 6 to 8 rehearsals a day. It's good to just have someone off to the side, to pull you off to the side and just help you. And it's just like M said, it's they don't pull the ladder up. They get to where they need to be. They set something up for other people to come to this space and just make room for everybody else.
Thank you. Any other thoughts on mentorship? Thank you for that, Pop. That's important. Like, as we climb higher, you have to look back. Because if not, you'll be forced to look back because you'll probably fall on your back. You have no choice but to look up. So you definitely have to. Thoughts on mentorship?
Um, okay, so granted, I've not really had. So I've kind of, weirdly enough, I think I'm kind of in a realm with like how Pop explained it. Like, I have people who I ended up not even realizing they were mentoring me. I think definitely having somebody that you can not be afraid to ask these questions to And also on the days where you are like, life sucks, this is hard, they can give you the positive reinforcement that you need. But they can also sit there and agree with you. Yeah, this sucks and it's hard. I think having someone like that in a space helps a lot. Like I said, I've never 100% officially like had one that I just was like, here's your mentor, and I knew that what it was for. But I have people, like I said, who I look up to, who I whether it's for just one particular reason or multiple particular reasons. And I think having that security, I think Kizzy said it, having somebody that you can speak without the repercussions, that somebody's not going to be like, what is you asking me this for? Having that security to say, what do I need to do with this, or where can I look for that? And sometimes I think you'll even realize you're a mentor without even knowing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You
Very
will end
true.
up setting like a pathway of doing stuff or helping with stuff, and then you'll look up and people will be like, well, I look up to you, and you're like, huh? I'm not doing anything, or what? I didn't even say anything. You don't. So sometimes even just passing on the knowledge and the wisdom that you have can be mentor like, even without you being the intent of being a mentor. So I think in any industry, like Pop said, whether it's music, whether it's gaming, I know, like I said, there are quite a few places that give mentorship for jobs, for tech. Having somebody that can not necessarily hold your hand, but at least walk side by side with you can definitely be a big difference than just wandering out with a flashlight and a brick, trying to figure out how do you turn on the flashlight with a brick.
That's good now. This is how you turn this on. This is wisdom. You guys are speaking wisdom. This is good stuff. It's good meat. Putting meat on the bones up in here. I like this. I like this dialogue. I really do. And we are coming to an end. This is the sad part. We have two more topics to really hammer home, and then we are done. And Infamous called it. I'm like, we're going to be done in an hour. She's like, you're not. And we're not. It's right. I'm just like, let's talk about justice. Let's talk about social justice. And I'm actually going to start this question with Kizzy X, because she since became Malcolm X during this conversation.
I knew it.
Yep. You're going to start this one off. So this topic, this series, this segment we're going to talk about is called Game into Justice. Game into Justice. So for you, Miss Kizzy XX, please start off with this. With recent events taking place within the United States, dealing with race, police brutality, voter suppression, right? We're seeing that happening now in multiple states. How have you used your voice to amplify this message? And what did that look like?
A lot of how I use my voice. I would say I'm like a semi-silent partner, and I say semi because when you give me the platform like this, I'm going to speak my mind. But other than that, I pretty much lay low just because I know sometimes when I speak my mind, I can fire off and there's like no holds barred. So, what I like to do, and one thing that I kind of studied is I had kind of built up my Instagram. I get a lot of views on my stories. So I'll share a lot of things on my stories. And as far as that, I'm more of a like, who, like with your organization, I'm more of like, who can we support directly person to support these other causes, not a just, it may seem like I'm sitting back and doing nothing, but I'm the type of person that's like, okay, I'm about to give money to this organization. I'm gonna retweet this so somebody knows this, or I'm gonna repost it. It's not always on my Twitter because Twitter still right now isn't my biggest platform. Like my biggest platform is Instagram. So I use my Instagram stories a lot because I get like a good amount of views on there that I know people look at, like people that don't even follow me look at my stories. So you'll see me posting a lot of political. I'm not even a politics person, but you'll see me posting a lot of social justice stuff there. Like, if you want to get into my mind, the creative mind, go to my Instagram stories. I will post a lot of stuff that people may or may not agree with, but you got to hear it from me. And a lot of it does have to do with the war against Black people, because I'm sorry if you didn't know that there's a war against Black people. I'm sorry if that offends anybody. I'm sorry if that just woke y'all up, but I need y'all to know it's a war against Black people. It has not gone away. It's not gone away because of slavery. It's not gone away because of Jim Crow been gone away. It's still here. It's still in the Constitution. It's still people trying to get us to do things just to dumb us down. Like, it's still out there. So I feel like in terms of tying that back to gaming, shoot, that's where it gets kind of tricky, because I feel like some people have tried to speak up in different ways and say things and they get shot down because it may not come in the package that it comes to. It may just be like, shut up, you light skin, you don't know nothing, or shut up, you fat, you don't know nothing. Like, I've seen it happen where it's like, shut up, you're biracial, that you don't know nothing, you don't even know what side you're on. And it's like, well, wait a minute, like, hold on. Like I said, Black people in general are not a monolith. Like, we've all had different paths of life. So in terms of like gaming, I just wish for people to be open-minded, because that's the only way these discussions are going to make sense. That's the only way these things are going to see through. I think people need to stop. I don't want to say this, and I'm not saying this in a way to kind of like pick at people, but everyone needs to stop being so offended and focus on the goal. Like, we all have a certain goal as far as wanting to make things better for the next generation, wanting to make things better for us now. I mean, a lot of us are in our 30s. That's still young. Right. Like, we're still in this community. We want to make it good for ourselves too. But a lot of people just have to kind of focus on. So I'm getting hot and serious right now. So but we just have to focus on the goal, what we want in the end game. We can't focus on if it's coming out of a different package and being like, hey, you shut up because you're biracial, or hey, you shut up because you're white, or don't listen to her because she's a white woman. It's like, but if this white woman is saying some stuff that's going to get us to the next level, use her. That's like, for instance, this may be going off topic, but a lot of people who know me know what I do. Okay, like when we get in the topic of colorism, I knew growing up as a light-skinned Black woman that I would get certain things or get looked at first for certain things over my dark-skinned sisters. You know how I use that? Yeah. Unfortunately, I've had to use it in place as far as like safety. Like, sometimes in certain areas, I'll drive because if you see me, you just see white hands. So I do stuff like that to kind of protect us. Okay, let me drive because I don't want them bugging you because you're dark. Like, I'm going to protect you like that. I feel like people need to have that mind space when it comes to the gaming community, in the sense of that is like, you have a platform. Let's just say I get Twitch partner. I'm up for whatever, like I get some huge big platform. I'm leaving the ladder down for my dark skinned people. I'm leaving the ladder down for my LGBTQ people. I'm leaving the ladder down for my big women. I'm leaving the ladder down for all these different women to come up and have that voice. So all these younger people could see, like Inf said, all these different people that look like them or that don't look like them coming together for this one thing. And that ties into me saying that we all have the same goal. We all want everything to be together. We all want all of us to have a fair shot in all of this. So I think that's what everybody needs to focus on. I don't even remember what the question was. I just got like super Malcolm X-ish. But what I'm really saying is that everybody needs to stop focusing on what makes us different and use what makes us different to get us all ahead. I was just using me as being a light-skinned Black woman, as knowing that people are going to look at me first to say, all right, hey, let's come in. I got my sister here. She's dark. She looked way different than me. I'm gonna bring in people that don't look like me. Ever since I was talking to you, Sharice, I have not brought in a woman that looks like me once. Once have I?
You have not.
Exactly. I don't. So I just feel like if more people had that mentality, we could get to the goal that we're trying to get to.
So Malcolm X at Kizzy X. You're gonna make me get a poster together. We're gonna have a protest at like 5 o'clock tomorrow after. I love it. I love it. Actually, I'm gonna open this question up to all of you because I want to hear. And I want the folks, the good folks to hear, because people are just like on Twitter, this is good. There's some good conversations that's taking place. And thank you guys for retweeting and the folks out there. So let me just say it again, because Malcolm X set us off. With recent events taking place, she's correct, in the United States, that have not gone anywhere, right? It's just like the lid was blown off just a little bit more, unfortunately, with the past individual we had in office. But dealing with race, police brutality, now we're seeing voter suppression, right? And I'm going to put this plug: if you are not registered to vote, get your life together and vote. It's not just a presidential thing. Local elections and federal means so much. So make sure you guys are registered to vote, please. And if you're not, don't tell me, because I'm not going to like you. So with all these issues that are going on, how did you all use your voice? How did you amplify your voice to really bring forth this message? What did you do?
I think with me personally, one, technically Infamous X1X is not registered to vote. I just want to let you know that. The other person is registered to vote.
Now,
the other name that is on the email is registered to vote though.
But then
but I think I think the hard part, like when a lot of the stuff goes on, I know somebody, of course, when the voter suppression was going on in Georgia, they live in Georgia, and they raise funds to go towards that. Also, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of the stuff that goes on, a lot of us speak, a lot of us fundraise. I think the hard part is being taken seriously. That's really where the hard part is. Also, like Kizzy said earlier, you have to be able to say what you need to say, but say it in a way that you're not gonna be canceled for saying it. It's like it's a weird it's such a weird space. But there are definitely, like I said, certain things I speak heavy on. You can't sit there and tell me not to speak heavy on. For Asian American Pacific Islander month, I'm Pacific Islander. I do not condone that type of hate. I don't condone any type of hate for anybody that was else born or identify as feminine. I do not take hate on anybody that is Black, whether you are half, a quarter, or full. I am not a fan of colorism at all. I am the child that's in the middle. I am the middle colored person. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen both sides and it's ugly. I'm not a fan of that. I am not a fan of people bullying people about their weight, whether they are thin or they are fat. Like, I will speak where I need to speak. But the problem is, and a lot of people look at it as, if you're not in that higher plateau, I will throw a name out. I'm going to throw a name out. There's a ninja. We all know him. We even though if we don't want to necessarily fully know him, we all know him. And there's been times where people have went to go ask him stuff, or he has said stuff, and the first reaction is, well, they ain't my kids, it's not my responsibility, or I don't want to play with women because I don't want to offend my wife. You see what I'm saying? People look at people with those larger platforms and else want them to say something on a grander scale, or are waiting for them to say something stupid. Unfortunately, he might need to look at his PR team and stop saying stuff stupid. But the point is when you're a smaller, and I don't mean smaller in the sense of, but maybe not as vocal of a person, it's harder. It is harder. So what some of us do is, when we don't have the words, I may say something really, really powerful, and Tia go like it. Tia go retweet it, because I'm the one with the big mouth. And then, her timeline retweets it. And then, Pop sees it, and Pop may add on something to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it turns into an avalanche of just enough of us understanding where we're coming from with stuff. It's not always the biggest mouth person in the room. And like I said, it's even hard because I can scream all day, support Black women, support women, support LGBTQIA. Man, the letters always confuse me, and I'm a part of them. Um, but support non-binary, support, all of that. I can scream it, but somebody gonna look at me like, well, who are you? That's where the biggest thing is. It's not really until we have conversations like this where people hear us speak. And like Kizzy said, yeah, I don't want to be broke the rest of my life either. But also, apparently every time I run my mouth, people listen. This has been going on for now 2 years. Me and Kizzy have been on multiple things like this, and I get to run in my mouth and chat lights up and be like, did she really just say all of this? Where did this come from? And now people have known me for opening my big mouth. That's why I say that. And Kizzy was there the first time we went through this. I have that as a whole clip where Kizzy is fanning herself because of what I said. So sometimes you have to be that person to just say
That's
it.
right.
But sometimes
right.
it comes across better when you have the opportunity to verbally say it. So even if you said, I say stuff on my stream all the time. I've said stuff on TikTok. I've said stuff on Instagram. I open my mouth real quick. Don't trauma dump on people. Hey, guess what? I think I put out something yesterday. Saying you have nice cleavage is not a compliment. If you wasn't aware, guess what? You're aware now. Like, I will say those things, and some people will be like, why is this heifer saying this? Because there are people that agree with me. You may not understand where I'm coming from, but there is at least 100 to 200 people that may agree with me. Now, not all of them may retweet it or like it, but at least somebody is nodding their head like, you know what, that's a point. And then there may be somebody that may have done it and be like, dang, that really was, I've done that stupid stuff. Like, sometimes you just need to say enough. You don't have to give the whole book and ladder of it, but say enough. This sucks. Don't do it no more. Like you just said, you didn't say a whole spew about it. You said, hey, you guys are not registered to vote, you might want to go register to vote. And if you're not registered to vote, then you probably shouldn't tell me about it. And that's the end of it. Like, you're not really having to go into the whole thing. It's, you just look at the camera and say a whole bunch of stuff very, very strongly. And people were like, now you got everybody checking their license thing and going into their email. They're gonna go to the voterthing.com to make sure that they're registered, because it's not just about the presidential election. There's local elections too. Now you gotta have people looking in their local areas. Just because you said that one statement very powerfully, and then I reinforced the statement looking dead at the camera. and that's pretty much just what it is. It's getting the ball across, and a lot of that needs to go on with these. If you don't have the voice for it, and sometimes I've seen people combat about it too. Well, you're not saying enough. Who who are you to say I need to say enough? I've said it. If I've said it, I don't need to keep saying it. I will say all the time, Black Lives Matter. I will say protect women. I will say stop Asian hate. I play Apex with 3 tags. Black Lives Matter, stop Asian hate, and I have a whole LGBTQA plus. Y'all know what I'm saying. Yeah. But I have those on my banner at all times playing Apex under every character that I play. Why? Because I don't need to say it. Here it is. This is what I support. And while I'm taking your head off, remember, stop Asian hate, Black Lives Matter. And I am demisexual and bi. Thank you. Have a nice day. That's it. Like, you don't always have to say the most powerful thing. Just say it in a safe fashion. And if you don't know how to say it and you got a big mouth friend like me, just like my tweet. Somebody will see it somehow, some way. I don't know.
I'm wild, child, I tell you. So let me actually kick it to T, Pop, and Rabbit in no specific order. I'm gonna ask you guys the same thing. How did you use your voice with these issues and things? Have you used your voice? What did it look like?
So I think for me, I love what Infamous was actually saying. And I just want to, I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of going to be bringing together a lot of things that a lot of these wonderful women have already said. I think for me, this comes back to the mentorship piece. So I'm in the realm of STEM as a woman of color. And I think again, when we're looking at these changes that need to occur, I think it's at a societal level. I don't think it's just isolated to gaming, and I don't think it's just isolated to tech. I think we need to sort of model what this positive behavior needs to look like. We need to be really empowering our younger girls to be sort of taking the baton from us once we're done. But like Kizzy had said, we need to create a space for us now. We're still young and we still want to participate in a lot of these, on a lot of these platforms and in a lot of these events and what have you. And I think for me, being involved in STEM, I know that oftentimes, whether I want it or not, a lot of people look to me as like, oh, well, what is she going to think about this topic? Or, oh, how is this, like, what is Rabbit going to say? And I am just such a strong advocate. I'm known in every agency I've ever worked, in any type of realm of public health, educational work. Like I taught at a university for a few years. Everyone already knows I'm the one that if you're going to be dogging any certain group, like I'm going to tell you, like, how is this appropriate? Or I'm going to ask you questions about it. Like, well, where is this coming from? Do you actually know what you're talking about? Do you have any statistics to back it up? I'm very non-confrontational. I'm a pretty quiet person actually in real life. I think maybe that's just my nerdy nature. I feel like Pop and I might be more spirit animals in that sense, where I have a very laid back disposition, but I'm all about advocacy because of reasons we've already all discussed, where other people can't change this for us. I think it is up to us to create the space for our younger women that are coming up, and younger men, anybody, honestly. It's up to us, especially as a group and as a community, to build those bridges and eradicate those barriers that were placed before us, whether it was by us or due to someone else. Like, that's a discussion that can kind of like go way off in and of itself. But I think we need to be the ones to step up and say, okay, we want this platform, we want this space for all of us, and then we need to create it. And we need to, I love that analogy of leaving the ladder behind for other people to come up. So I know for me in my work, I always take interns. I always accept people to shadow any of my clinical sessions for people that are interested in counseling or education or stats or research or anything. I'm just very, very big about speaking to certain issues and just also being visible and available so that people know, like, she can do it, I can do it too. There's so much negativity in the world. I don't think it needs to come from within our community anymore. We need to be the ones to say, like, screw what everyone else is saying. I hope that's not too foul of language. You're strong, you're powerful, you're beautiful, you're mighty. If you want this, you go get that degree. Or if you're interested in this, you start streaming or playing these games. And it doesn't matter if someone calls you an in, it doesn't matter if someone does this or says that. That's a reflection of them, not you. You are who you want to be, and I'm going to help you get there. And I think it comes from within our community, and we need to be the one to really create the change for the next girls coming up. So I hope that actually answers your question. I realized like 10 minutes later, I'm like, what am I even talking about? But yeah, that's how I use my voice. Mine's mostly being a minority woman in STEM. Every agency, like I'm the one, they know certain topics they better not say around me, because I will very quickly scoot up next to them and be like, oh, are we having this conversation? Oh, wonderful. Let me clock out real quick so we can do this.
Thank you. And if you guys forgot your answers, please blame Kizzy, Malcolm X. Thank you, because she said it all. Has us all get ready to like create some posters and stuff and protest tomorrow at 5 o'clock, guys. Don't forget at City Hall. Pop and T. Right. Pop and T. How have you ladies amplified your voice, with all this going on with race, police brutality, voter suppression? What did you guys do?
I'm a bit more proactive. Similar to a Rabbit, people know not to say certain things around me. Because I Kizzy T and will tell you, I speak my mind. Someone might come into a stream and they'll say something about a certain topic. I'll say what I have to say and go back to play the game and talk about something else at the end of the game. Calm. Or yeah, and I speak in this tone of voice. Like the other day, like one stream I had my stream title as the gatekeeper of AAVE, African American Vernacular English.
She really is. She is. If you weren't aware, she really is.
I am tired of people that are not Black using it and then using it wrong, thinking it's fun and games. The same way you go out and learn Spanish, French, German, other Slavic languages, Japanese, or you learn the grammar for that, you better learn the grammar for AAVE if you're going to speak it around me. Because if you do it wrong, I'm gonna roast you and then tell you not to do it again. But I like how I think it was M that said it. When people, I'm gonna keep it above with y'all. I can't stand people that do nothing but tweet, and then they try to come for someone saying that you haven't said enough. Like, I done said it before, and personally, I'm tired. I am one of the only 3 Black people in my department. I'm about to be the first Black person to graduate from my graduate program, and it's the second oldest musicology program in the country. I'm tired. I'm tired of repeating myself. I'm tired of other people saying things, thinking that they're saying something new instead of actively doing something about it. If you're just going to sit there and talk and not do anything, just sit down. Now, granted, I don't know about y'all, but when the come up does happen and other people that haven't really done anything, I might slip the ladder up for them, because it's just like, listen, you weren't really about it. Like, you not finna sit here and ride someone's coattails. Like, hold on, it's just like, who was just trying to come up?
Yeah.
Weren't they the ones that weren't they sitting over here while all of us was working?
No, that's just when you pour water and oil down the ladder and they gonna slide back down. And then you just yell, hey, somebody grab a towel, clean up on aisle 2, and then everybody climb back up. That's how you do that right there. That's all that is.
But no, it's you gotta be proactive about it. Like, you can shout it to the mountaintops. There have been so many things that I've shouted. I've come to a point that I always give this example where we were talking about diversity in games, and I had a friend tweet about Final Fantasy, looking the same. It's just like, she was sarcastically like, oh, I love the diversity on this roster. All the protagonists look exactly the same. Just a different hair color. Maybe a little tweak with the eye color, might be brown one, blue in the other, and green. The same white looking protagonist. And I tweeted, I was just like, well, people don't realize, media representation is important because it creates bias. I study this stuff, and someone tweeted and was just like, well, if your own bias comes to this, then that says a lot about you as an individual. I posted my entire bibliography that I'm using for my dissertation and kept it moving. And for a whole 3 months, my name on Twitter was like, do not at me without a citation. Tia, M, and Kizzy, remember what I named that? Oh, I named myself that on Twitter. Do not at me without a citation. Don't at me, and I had the at symbol. Don't at me without a citation, because I'll block you. I will block you. I will mute you if you do not have anything to support what you are saying, and you are speaking from your own little mind of not doing just doing a little research or actively looking up stuff or actively having conversations. Don't talk to me, because I'm not gonna argue with you. I'll block you. Keep it moving. The block button is my best friend. Blocking you are my best friends. The best digital best friends I've ever had. I'm gonna let T go.
I'm gonna let y'all go.
I cannot with her. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm with it. The one has a pistol on his side. The other one is just Malcolm X, and this one is a silent assassin. I don't even know what's going on right now. See, how did you?
When it comes to me and on this topic, I am the friend that is the more quiet one and the one to more listen to everything. And when I have somebody like M and Pop who constantly speak their mind, and I know we have like-minded opinions and whatnot, I will retweet what they say. I will back up what they say. When it comes to me and my own community, if we're having issues in there, we're in our Discord, we can have our own conversation. That's fine. When it comes to me personally, as far as my own experience, I do not speak out like that on Twitter, mainly because I have seen the things that happen on Twitter when people do these things. But I will retweet what is right. I will like and repost anything that supports what I think. And for a fact, Inf and Siri are that. They will do that. So for me, I personally I'll always be there scrolling. I'll be looking. As far as saying something, unless you are talking to me personally, you know where my opinions are, you know where my goals lie, you know what side I'm on. So you know for a fact, if there is anything out there that is wrong, I will speak on about it. If I know you, I will check you about it. But as far as it goes, I was never the big mouth person, as y'all like to put it. I was never the type to be loud or constantly say what was on my mind. Because at the end of the day, I am a harsh person. I know people will get offended. I don't have time for it. I don't have time for it. But I will back other people up. And that is without a doubt. I will do that.
Thank you, guys. So within this topic, let me ask, I guess, all of you again, really quickly before we go to our final topic, which will deal with mental health. Is there space for activism in gaming? So what has gaming done? So I guess that's the first question. Is there space for that? And then what have they done to amplify their voice? Do we see if it's, God, give me a company, PlayStation, let me just give them, have they used their platform during this time, this heated time this season, you know, and with us dealing with, you know, obviously being in Rona still, but really seeing the murder. We blatantly saw the murder of George Floyd in front of our faces. I don't care what you want to call it. It was a murder. Have they said things, right? You know, not just putting up a blanket statement to say we stand by minorities, you know, like these companies do, we stand by you when we're for diversity, but have they actually done, has gaming, the world of gaming, have they done anything to use this platform to speak to that? Can anybody chime in?
Once again, this is a 50-50 split thing.
Hmm.
We have seen, and I'm pretty sure all of us respectively on the panel as well as in chat have seen the bare basic blank comments that companies have put out with stuff goes on, whether it has to do with us and our culture or anything having to do, well, I'm a lot of culture, so you know I see it all. I have seen that. What I also have seen is I have seen some companies come out of pocket. And when I say come out of pocket, I mean money. I have seen some companies, one of those companies very, very recently, which is a lot of people may not necessarily be 100% a fond of or friends of, but EA Respawn. EA Respawn not only helped to fund Brown Girl Gamer Code's, you know, Apex Academy, that was an all black woman created, all black woman taught, and the tournament of an all women's tournament. EA Respawn has also went and supported an all queer Apex tournament and then matched the donations to 3 different charities. And then also just recently, they helped gave $5,000 to go towards the grant for 1,000 Dreams Fund, which does help women and people who identify as women in gaming and education so that they can get grant money. So there are some companies that, yes, they have put out the bare base statements and people within their companies have followed up. Is it big enough? I don't know. I can't make that judgment. Do I see it? Yes. Do I also see other companies who are not doing anything? Yes. You know what I'm saying? For example, and they're on my as Kizzy called it poo list right now. Activision, Blizzard, they are on my poo list. One, Activision said that they did the whole thing of having a Black Lives Matter thing and all that other stuff that went on the screen. They had a small variation that certain words could not be used at certain times, and then it got quiet. And as you continue to play the game, not only has the game been hacked into, the names are still there. The stuff still goes on. Nothing has changed in my, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they've done something personally to me. So that's why I'm like, I want my stuff fixed. But also, when on the other half of theirs, Overwatch, the Black community, Black women have been asking for a Black woman character since this entire franchise has started. They have given us multiple, and don't get me wrong, there are some diverse things in there, but they have given us multiple males of color, multiple. But the women of color, we have gotten compared to a robotic, what was she, what would it technically be called?
A
Bull.
centaur or
A
something?
centaur or something, yes. Because she had her creator was a little African girl. And that is who they have compared us to. They have sat there and they have said they cannot find people of diversity to hire. They have gone on the platform and said, well, this is why we can't hire people, because they're not applying. They have really put their, but for Black History Month, they showed a whole variation of their Mercy character as a Black man. So you knew that they turned this Black man character into a blonde-haired white woman. That was really great to show for Black History Month. That was wonderful. Thank you for showing us your ignorance. So don't get it twisted. There are some companies that they ain't learned. They ain't. They're just, I guess, saying stuff. And like I said, I have hope. I do. I have hope that companies will sit there and see certain things. For example, a lot of people are not happy 2K showed their new covers. I'm not sure if they're 100% if they are the covers, but they showed the new covers. The covers are so diverse that there is a woman, a WNBA player on the cover. To me, that is huge, because my niece is doing big things in Michigan. So if my niece can be on that cover of that game, that's huge to me. I don't even like the franchise, but I may go buy that cover because it's a woman in the WNBA on that cover. That has never happened. There is also different variations, new school, old school. You know what I'm saying? It's so diverse. And then here you go, people. Why is there a woman on there? Why is and it's like, I get it. You don't like us being here. You don't like us being here. You show that all the time. But at least, like I said, whoever did that at 2K, I commend them. Whoever thought that was a great idea, and if this cover comes out, I commend them. So I feel some companies try. They really, really do try. I do believe, just like with us being content creators and it being hard for us to say what we want to say, it's hard for them to maybe fully go out and say or do everything, because like we have all said on the panel, at the end of the day, right now, are we a big chunk of their money? Are we a big chunk of their investors? Are we on their boards? No. We are a very small amount of the money that they make and the money that they got going in. Is it bigger than what it used to be? Definitely. And that's why they're able to make the steps that they're making. But complete silence and complete overlooking stuff, I can't be a part of. If I at least see you trying, I will give credit where credit is due. Like I said, I am huge EA Respawn. I am huge. Diversity in characters. Yeah, they kind of fumbled the bag a little bit with Lifeline's voice actor. I'm not even gonna say it's perfect. They fumbled the bag with that. They did. But it's not just one Black woman, it's two Black women, and then it's a Brazilian woman, and it's an Asian woman. It's a Samoan Hawaiian man. As a Hawaiian, that means a lot. I want to see that man haka. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, that is huge. All different types. They got straight, they got gay, they got, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is, that's what we mean when we want diversity. But like I said, is it faults in it? Yes. I'm not going to sit there and say it's not. But we have to give them chances for trying. But the ones that ain't trying, Activision Blizzard, I'm going to say it. I'm going to keep saying it. I already said Activision ain't getting no more of my money because of what they've done to me personally. And Blizzard may not see me playing Overwatch 2 unless I see a Black woman I need to see a Black woman. You can make Sombra look great. You can make Baptiste look wonderful. I appreciate that. But after 5 years, I think we deserve it because we are actually a huge part of your community that play your game. There's a lot of us that taught your game. There's a lot of us that don't get sponsored to play your game. So the start of you trying to fix what you've done is giving us the Black character and then letting us compete. You see what I'm saying? Like that's where that needs to start at. I'm done. I've talked too much. It's hot in here now. Okay.
Told you that heat come up, that heat.
Right. Thank you, Stokely Carmichael. I appreciate it. Anybody else thoughts on that before we actually, 2 more questions and we're done? I think she nailed it, to be quite honest with you. Let's address mental health. Let's address this. And I do want all of you to answer this question before you have, as she's fanning herself, before you guys round off with your closing statement, which I will mention to everyone. And thank you guys so much for hanging in with us. I have to chuckle because I did say an hour. I'm going to say it again. And everyone was like, yeah, right. Look at what time it is now. One question regarding mental health. How has gaming helped you with mental health? What space did it provide for you? Let me say it again. How has gaming helped you with your mental health? And what space has it provided for you? And let me start with T first, and then anybody else can respond after T.
For me, gaming has definitely helped me with my mental health. Like I said, I grew up in a house full of women. It was me and my 3 older sisters with my mom. Like that's what we had. With me being a tomboy, she at least, I will say she didn't like me like being who I was fully, but she at least did indulge in my gaming. She did provide that at the very least. It did help me a lot because I did have a lot of anger issues going on, especially growing up. It helped me get through that. Growing up even further, it's helped me through depression, it's helped me through sadness. I will literally lay down for a little bit and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be like this. Let me go hop on the game and have a little fun. Just to ease my mind off of that, take my mind somewhere else. Just to help me feel a little better today. Let me just go play something that I know I'm going to genuinely like doing. I think gaming alone, gaming, of course, is for everyone. It works for everything. It may not work for you for what you want all the time, but it is there and it does its job when it needs to be done. I will always have a passion for gaming for that alone. It will always make me feel welcome. It will always bring me to new people, which it has done within like the past year and a half I've been on Twitch. I've met so many wonderful people through games alone. And I will always be grateful for that. I really do just think that the only thing that needs to be fixed, no, not the only thing, but the main thing that needs to be fixed online is diversity in gaming. Because what if you get bullied for being who you are, for being Black, and then you actually have a game, a solo player game, who the protagonist is a Black person? Just to go feel comfortable, just for a little bit. It might help you through that. I do think they need to implement that a little bit more. They've been doing it in little sprinkles everywhere a little bit, but I do think it needs to happen more to help with people in their mental health.
Thank you. Anybody else? Who's next?
So for me, as kind of growing up also in a really, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, kind of like Pop, I was in a military family. We moved around a whole lot. So making friends almost felt like an exercise in futility at times because you'd be in one place for maybe a year or 2 years max before you were moving to a completely new state. So I came from a really big gaming family, and I think growing up, there were moments where isolation and loneliness was kind of a big part of my experience and of my environment. But those video games, again, for me, JRPGs are really huge. I'm very, very big into the narrative driven video games, and especially a lot of the retro RPGs that are like 60, 70 hours long. You know, you're just playing through a gigantic movie or just a humongous story. they were such a good way for me to process my emotions because I was able to immerse myself in a completely different world. You know, you almost in a very strange way identify with one of the characters, and then it's like you're journeying through it, or you're making these friends and building these relationships. But also as a somewhat odd aside, it was a great way to co-process emotions with family members. So my siblings, we weren't always the most open in terms of discussing things that were going on in our family. We went through a period of, I'd say, somewhat tumultuous waters with just things going on and the constant moving and the stressors that were placed on our family as a result of that. And so we didn't always maybe want to acknowledge that elephant in the room, but by gosh, if we can sit down and play Super Smash Brothers, you know, we can sort of duke it out, get out that energy and just laugh and have a good time. And I think that video games as a medium of entertainment, it invites so much interactivity and it engages you so much that you can really use it as a way, not to escape all types of pain, but it is a way to sort of process through your emotions, co-process with those around you. And it's a great way to build meaningful relationships with others, especially now that online gaming, I think, is so accessible. But when I was, you know, growing up, even playing games, again, it was very much dominated by one group. I remember playing a lot of the early MMO RPGs, and you know, it was a wild time. But you built so many relationships, and you were able to put yourself into new environments and have new experiences that you couldn't really have in real life. And I think sort of at the end of it all, that's kind of what catapulted me into getting my master's and pursuing a career in mental health and behavioral health, is because it was such a great way for me to learn how to deal with my emotions, that I wanted to help other people and really shepherd people towards maybe some non-traditional ways and non-traditional avenues of coping with their own stuff. So I will always be grateful to video games for the relationships that I was able to build. I'm still really good friends with someone I met in the 4th grade online. So that was a long time ago.
Nice. Thank you. Uh-oh, the infamous unmuting herself.
I can mute myself back if you want me to. I mean, I can go back on mute. Yep.
No, oh my gosh. All right, you'll round us out. Give your talk to us. Gaming and mental health.
I'll go. So let's see, gaming and mental health. So yeah, gaming for me has been a big part of my mental health journey. I had to kind of like get over this one hump, and luckily that one hump, actually it was like 2 humps. You know how like you gotta get, once you get over like that one little hump, it kind of opens the floodgates to everything else. That's literally like what happened to me. Like the first hump, this is a weird story, don't laugh, but I I was on a dating website, right? And I met this guy who's a gamer, and that's how we bonded. Okay. And this was before I really knew, like I knew about Justin TV, but I didn't know that it had turned into Twitch. So like I just like lost Justin TV and was like, oh my God, it's not here anymore. And just didn't really pick up with it. And then through the guy I met online, on a dating website, that's how I got reintroduced to like Twitch, like the new platform and stuff like that. And through that, I started talking to people and talking to people and talking to people. And I was like, it made me feel better because it was like, okay, I didn't have to share this thing by myself. I feel like a lot of people like we were talking about it now, you shouldn't have to go it alone. And that doesn't necessarily always include like the bad stuff. Like it's good to share the good stuff too. You don't want to just always just come to people when there's something bad going on. You want to share those good moments with each other, because that's how you cultivate good relationships and good networking and things like that. So after that, it kind of encouraged me to say, you know, hey, okay, I'm annoyed, I'm surrounded by all these men. I'm like, there has to be other women out here like me. So I was playing Destiny at the time, and I found, this was like, I don't know, before I even knew about Discord or anything, but like Band was a huge app, and like Destiny had the forums within Destiny. I don't know, it was like something weird online. It was like Destiny related. I forgot the platform. It wasn't Reddit, it was something else. So then I found all these women that played, and through there I found some of my like gaming friends that I still talk to. They're in here now lurking, and they've been texting me this whole time, like, and knowing them from that has helped me. Like, they're two good friends that I come to when I'm going through stuff in my mental health. So like gaming and just leading the path and letting the path of gaming like take me and keeping walking on it, putting one foot at a time, has led me to like this open world of like different things, because those same people and the people I've met got me into online playing games, because I mainly played like The Sims, because I'm an only child. I mainly played by myself. I was scared as HE double hockey sticks to play with anybody else because of the naysayers, because of things that people may say, and because of people judging how you play, or, you know, your skill and all that other stuff. But then I met people that kind of brought me out of that shell. Like, and that's unfortunate, because the first online game I played was Overwatch, and they still didn't give me a black character, a black woman. So like Inf is talking about, I'm kind of still mad at that. But I met those people that, again, like all of that has tied into like really helping my mental health journey. So I have something to fall back on. I have like new people to fall back on. And that's all because like I literally like just chased it down in the gaming community to find all of that. So like now when I'm feeling down, like after this, I'm going to watch Call of Duty League, even though they kind of make me mad, because I just feel like women should be in the Call of Duty League, but that's a whole nother different story for another day. But yeah, that's like one of the things. I just like to watch people play games and stuff, and it relaxes me even if I don't play myself. So yeah, that's it for gaming in my mental health journey.
Thank you. She's at the bottom of my screen. I don't know where Pops is in yours. So I'm gonna call her before I let Infamous round off her answer with this question. Anything about anything about gaming and mental health? Pop.
It's a secondary giveaway for me. I mean, being a musician, that was like my main go-to source. But like, I'm at the house and I couldn't always like play or listen to music. And at certain times, like when I was a sophomore in college, I was gaming most of my sophomore year. I gamed more than I played because I literally hated music. Like one day I was just like, I don't want to listen to anything. I don't want to touch my instruments. Just I play at rehearsal. I play for my classes. That's it. I would go and game with my friends. It's a secondary outlet, because sometimes I might get a block, and sometimes I just don't feel like playing or opening up Spotify. Uh I might open up a game. I might DM somebody and just be like, "Yo, do you want to hop on this game?" Or my mom will bug me to play Animal Crossing with her to watch her and her stuff on her island, or she'll show me things on her island. No, it's a good non-traditional. And when I say non-traditional, I mean like people always have some form of a go-to to cope with mental health or when they're feeling down. But it's a good what's the word I'm looking for? It's an extraordinary source to cope with. Um, Especially coupled with music, because like music is a go-to. It's a traditional go-to. But like if I'm feeling down, I'm just like, oh, I'm about to go game. And it might sound weird to some of my friends that don't game as often. It's like, you better go play the game, but didn't X happen, and you just gonna hop on a game? I was like, yeah, I'll be fine afterwards. I'm just gonna play this and I'll be fine. But it's a good alternative source when I'm not trying to hear nobody saying.
Yeah. I love it. You just emulated your picture when you put your hand on your head. Like that, like you really did. Thank you for that. Infamous, when you give your response, I'm gonna actually rope in before you give your response, let me say this, because I'm going to have you start off with closing remarks as well. Let me thank you all for being here today. I think this was rich. I think this was good. What's next for us and Black Tech Savvy, that we're taking a break for a couple of weeks because we are actually preparing for the fall. And what most know here on this platform is that we are actually working toward programming in the fall with the ladies, actually some of the ladies, if not all, that you see in one way, shape, or form today. So we are going to be kind of tackling and unplugging coding and developing a game with our Black girls. So we're actually going to do this virtually, of course, with those that register. We are missing one who's not here today, Miss Fun Size, because she's on family vacation. So shout out to her, who's actually behind the scenes as well. She kind of helps cultivate and keep me sane, in addition to the women you see today with all of this that's going on. So we will bring back our fireside chat in September. We are going to roll out some programming, and then we're also going to work on a virtual conference, which I'm excited about. And that will probably be more or less in November, December. So that's what's to come on the horizon. So I just wanted to get my quick thank you, because after everyone gives their closing remarks, we are going to log off today. Thank you to everyone that retweeted, to all of you guys that had people that were watching. Let me go back to our, I call her the firecracker, the live wire. Definitely respond to the question about gaming and mental health. And in that also, if you don't mind, after your response, just give us some closing remarks, just your thoughts on today. So this is all you, Miss Infamous.
Gaming and mental health is hard. The end. No, I'm just joking. For me personally, we all, those who know me know I'm really big on mental health. But me and gaming have like a love-hate relationship. There's things in gaming that has caused me depression, but then also there's times where people know I am depressed because I'm not gaming. So we have a love-hate relationship with that. But I will say, for me personally, I think the biggest thing is those quiet moments, when the world is really, really loud and you just find a game that you can just kind of pull yourself into, you know. Like I said, I know Rabbit had brought it up earlier, like a good JRPG, even just simple games like phone games. I've seen people just draw their entire world in with Candy Crush. Like, I know a lot of the world don't think that counts, but in all retrospect, guess what? It counts. Um, so I think for me, it's having that quiet time when the world is really, really loud, when my brain is really, really loud, but also very much so the people that I've found through gaming. Um, I remember being pregnant with my daughter, and I was by myself a lot, and I was playing Tekken online, 360, and I'd be in parties, and I'm sitting there on the floor, pregnant belly, playing Tekken, laughing it up. And here we go, almost 12 years later, and I'm in Discord talking, we all playing different games, doing different stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of that thing to look forward to. Or if you're really, having a really, really bad day, turning on something, and you know what? I'm gonna take everybody's heads off. Just I don't care how. I'm just gonna, and not in a negative sense, but it's a safe way to release. Whether you release in shooters, whether you release in fighters, whether you release playing, what I'm saying, basketball, whether you release playing Cooking Mama, whatever it is that is your release to get that pressure off of your chest, that is where it's big. And that's why I sit there and tell people, if it gets to the point where that you are just as, what we like to use as a term, tilted in gaming and tilted in reality, you need to step back from what you're playing and play something that's going to be a little bit more soothing. So, but yeah, gaming and my mental health, I love it. I do. I'll grab my Switch, go lay on my couch. I'll play on. I think I've been playing something lately. I haven't told anybody about behind the scenes. I think it's called. I don't know. Now I gotta look so I can tell y'all what it is, because y'all gonna be like, "Really, Em? Are you playing that?" Um, Oh, 2 Point Hospital. I've been secretly playing 2 Point Hospital when I'm frustrated. Nobody knows that. I mean, unless you see me playing it on Discord, but nobody knows. I'm building hospitals. I'm fixing patients. I'm cussing out nurses because they want raises. Like, I went to a whole depression spell at one time at the beginning of the year. I was depressed. I went off the
Mm,
grid, and
mm.
I play Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is a very long game. I got to year 3 in a week because I was just that depressed. But the game made me happy. The music made me happy.
Yeah.
Me feeding my chickens and my cows made me happy. So sometimes if the world is too tilting for you and the game is too tilting for you, go find you something soothing. I guess we go into the closing remarks now.
Yeah, you're going to start us off with the closing remarks. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, cool. One, thank you everybody who decided to show their faces. I appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you anybody that retweeted and shared. We appreciate y'all. Um, as always, you know, I love being here. I love when we get to spend time with each other. I love driving you nuts. You are truly a whole blessing and gem to us. You are. I love when we get to have time together. To
Yeah.
those who may watch now or may watch later, um, one, life is hard. We know. Sorry somebody didn't tell you sooner. Two, as I say at the end of my stream all the time, tell someone how much they mean to you. Tell them in a way, in a form or fashion that they understand, because tomorrow is truly, truly not promised. Um, and tell them because you never know what it may mean to them. So, we all need something positive said to us. We all need positive reimbursement, all those good words. And of course, you guys can find me where y'all always find me. I'm always hiding in my asylum district on Twitch. You can follow me here because I got a YouTube. You can follow me on TikTok. I do things over there. You can follow me on Instagram. Just add the underscore at the end of the name. And y'all seen the tweets. So obviously, you're probably already following me on Twitter. But if you're not, you can follow me on Twitter under this. And yeah, y'all, self-care Sunday. So after you're done with this, I need some form of self-care. I will be looking for you guys on social media for your self-care because I'm very pro self-care Sunday, whether it's big or small. I need it to happen. Go get you a tea or have you a good dinner, go take you a nice bath, do a scalp massage, put some good polish on the toes, whatever the case may be. Self-care Sunday, have it happen. And I'm done being the fire child of today. I'm gonna go shut my mic up now.
You were never done. And I thank you for that. And my self-care was actually yesterday. Sidebar before I call on the next person. I went to this restaurant in Philly. It's actually in Houston and Charlotte too, State 48. And so per person, you have to spend a minimum of $100 per person. Was divine. My sister and I went out last night. Our bill was like $400 or $500, and it was so worth it because it was a whole experience, right? It was just amazing. So I honor you for saying that. Self-care Sundays, what you call it. That's super dope that you tell people that take care of self. I honor that seriously. Like that's what's up. That's what we got to keep her. She's sticking around. I ain't never gonna let her go. She with us. You with it. You're part of the Doing whole family, and I honor you. Stay right there. Don't leave yet. Let me bounce to Chizzy to have closing remarks. And before you do what I did not say, Miss Pop, right? That's her picture. If you guys didn't see her photo, we are actually working on the game-a-thon. So Pop has actually put something in my head with something that we may roll out, probably not in August, but maybe early September as a part of Black Tech Savvy. We'll keep you guys posted. I got to thank you for her because she's out behind the scenes with everything. Miss Kizzy, closing remarks.
It'll work when I unmute myself. Okay. Closing remarks. What did you want us to say specifically for closing remarks? I know you like.
You know what? It was something specific, but sort of like Infamous did. This is you. Like put your hashtags if you she had a closing statement.
There was something specific. I didn't get the memo. I just free-handed it.
I'm not. No. Do you, Malcolm X, okay? You do it. This is your money.
Yeah. Hi everybody. I just want to say thank you everybody for being here. And yeah, you can find me back on here when we do this again. And you could follow me everywhere at Creative Mind 9. It's KREATIV, no EMIND in the number 9, and I will type in the chat so you can click on my thing and know what my name is spelled like. But yeah, this was a good conversation. It definitely need to have it. This conversation was very therapeutic for me. I love having conversations like this, where we can talk and get our thoughts out and not have anybody bark at us on Twitter and say that we're wrong or say that we're not thinking about this group or 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 this group, and it goes on and on. So I appreciate conversations like this, and I can't wait to have more and play games with everybody or watch people play games, because that's been my thing now. I like watching people. I haven't played as many games as much, but I'll get back to it, y'all. I swear. Just give me some time. Like I said, I'm focusing on my mental health. You can find me on my Instagram, social justicely saying stuff in my Insta stories. Okay. I follow a lot of different people. Don't hate me for the people I follow. I like to find out everything that's going on with everybody and what everybody is saying, including the other man that got his Twitter deleted. I like to know what everybody's saying, so I'm informed. Okay. Okay. I'm that type of person. But yeah, other than that, I'll let y'all know when I get back to streaming and all that good stuff. And yeah, God bless y'all. Stay Black.
Thank you, Kizzy, for this. And it's because of her. Like I said, she was the first person when my team reached out. We just did a hard search of gamers, and she was first. Met with her one-on-one, and here we sit, right? So always, always appreciative of you, for you, and who you are, Kizzy Malcolm XX. And then while you are sitting still, we will still be meeting, obviously, behind the scenes, doing some stuff with what's going on here. So thank you. Because you are the Don, as they say, the originator. You're the godfather, you're the godmother. That's what you are. Thank you. Let me bounce this to Rabbit. Closing remarks, closing statement.
Well, this might be a weird way to open my closing remarks, but I actually want to thank all of you. I want to thank you, Charisse, for inviting me to be a part of this, but I actually want to thank all four of you women for sharing your experiences. I kind of opened with this, that I'm a little bit different from all of these other gamers in that I don't stream. I don't even have a Twitch account. I'm 100% isolated to episodic video uploads, and I do a lot of like analytical type stuff as well, where I do video game reviews, and I've written analytical assessments of video games. That's just kind of how my mind works, with the background more focused on research and analytics. But what's fascinating is my experience online gaming, because I kind of function almost in a little bit of a silo. My experience on YouTube has not been quite as tumultuous, and I might even say volatile and toxic, is what some of you have experienced. Definitely a lot of ignorance. As I vocalized, I'm gonna just say, like, the only female minority who really tackles retro gaming to this capacity and to this level on YouTube. I'm sure there are several that are kind of up and running and really up and starting, but it's not really the more popular way of tackling video gaming anymore. It's a little bit more archaic and was much more popular 10 years ago. But with all of that being said, I've actually learned so much from being a part of this conversation. And I've learned a lot to the point where I feel very humbled, and I feel empowered by a lot of what you all have said, where I want to give back more online, and I want to be more involved online, because if you even go to some of my social media platforms, I don't really use them. I really do kind of live on this little island where I play my JRPGs, I release my analytical videos, and then I kind of just go back to being weird in the corner and helping other people process things going on with them. And that's been very fulfilling and sufficient for me. But there's a huge battle going on that I feel almost guilty that I've not been more involved in. So I just want to thank all of you for bringing so much of this to my attention and for inviting me into this conversation, because not only has it increased my knowledge and understanding of a lot of what is taking place, especially in the more modern scene, but it's really shown a lot of me, to me, who I am, and kind of what my stances are on some of these issues and on some of what's going on. So I just appreciate all of you, and I appreciate all of the folks who joined us and were watching. I can't say it enough how humbled I am to have been given the privilege of learning about a lot of this from all of you wonderful women. So thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. Amen. I'm going to actually have T close us out. So I'm going to go to you, Ms. Pop. Closing remarks.
Therese, thank you for having me on this again. This is the second time I've taken part of something with Donna Hope, courtesy of Kizzy and M, because they came in my chat that one day. It was just like, we got something we want you to do. Make sure you check your email. Um, I enjoy being a part of this. I am Pop No Tarts everywhere on Twitch, on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, which I haven't really posted on TikTok, and somehow I have over 100 followers. I don't know how that happened, but is there another social media platform? Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. But you can find me as Pablo Tarts everywhere. To those that are watching, thank you for coming out and for all the retweets and supporting us. If you happen to see this after it's live and it's been embodied as a video on demand, we hope you enjoyed the conversation as well. And I look forward to doing more things with Donna Hope in the future.
Go Pop. Yes, an honor. You guys are awesome sauce. You are. And Lady T, you will round us off. I guess before she gives her remarks, no, give your remarks. I'll say my statement. We're done. Give your remarks. Go ahead.
Starting off, thank you all so much for having me. Siri, thank you for considering me. The same way she said Kizzy and F went in her chat, she came in mine like, T, what you doing on the 18th? I was like, I should be free. What's up? And she told me about it. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure you want me over there? But no, I greatly enjoyed it. This was really nice. This has opened my eyes a lot to a lot of different things because I wasn't online in gaming like that until like recently, like a year or so ago. So hearing y'all experiences, hearing what y'all have been through has opened my eyes to things that I didn't even know like was happening for the most part. Again, it was really nice meeting y'all. My Twitch and Twitter are both Cozy Reality. Thank you for M for the name for one, because it's honestly all thanks to her, but I did enjoy this. I do hope that one day I do get another opportunity like this and I will eventually have more to say, because I was like, I don't think I have a lot to contribute to this, but I'm gonna try my best. But but I did enjoy it and I do appreciate it. I really do.
You have a lot to say. Oh, this is not the end. You should ask the others. You're hooked. So I'll hook you back in. You'll see like 12 emails from me. Ask them. You will. This is not the end, girl, for anybody. Like I said, we are missing one who is on vacation with her family, who actually represents the Midwest with some other folk on here too as well. So that's for Miss is it Miss Funside. So she is just doing mommy duties, and we shout out her because she too is watching as well. We have West Coast represented. We have those of us up east, and then we have people down south. So we are representing the United States, something heavy up in this joint. But I honor all of you. Like as I said before, you will get a thank you from me, not just verbally, but you'll get a little something from me. But I honor each of you in your own walks, in your own wisdom. This was great. This was great. This was just the beginning of what's yet to come. And I know the best is yet to come, right? And I'm excited for the fall. I really am. I'm excited to really see this ricochet, to see more women on this platform. Of course, nobody taking your space because you guys are, even though Kizzy is the Don, she's the godmother, you guys are the Dons too as well. So, certain people are in intimate spaces with me that help really plan what we have today. So I thank you guys for just sharing that space with me, your expertise, your wisdom, and just being awesome. You're awesome women, and you walk in that, and you own your space. And if anybody has anything to say, have them see T, who said pull up, because I got something for that. Okay? She said pull up. She said pull up. And if you don't want that, then we have Kizzy, who is Kizzy X. If not, then we have the silent assassinator by the name of Pop No Tarts, right? He said, you pull up on me if you want to, because I got something to say. But in all jokes aside, I honor each and every one of you. And I thank you guys for just sharing space and time, literally for like 3 hours. Didn't even think it was going to be this long, but it was. And for everybody that retweeted, those of you sharing and you had your people shared who shared and who shared. So we honor you just for watching us in this dialogue. So I'm finished with my remarks. Pop, I don't know what else you need to do for us if we just like log off to thank you guys. So you give us direction, Pop, because now I'm like, I don't know what to do. What do? We just log off? We just like leave?
Y'all ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get out of this chat now, you dig?
Pop said, listen, so what you gonna do is click that red button that says leave. So